Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I'm feeling kind of fuzzy. What's going on with my camera? Hello. Hold on. And I'm back. And I'm still fuzzy. All right. Anyways. Good day. Just got back from a run. Yeah, it's a good way to start a day, right? Get yourself energized for the open and ready to go here on what is travel day, largely around BBT land, as we converge on Vancouver for our annual summit. It is it's going to be bigger and better than ever. It is truly a fantastic event coming up, guys. We're really looking forward to it. I just was texting with Lenny and other people that are in the air and on their way and at airports. As I said, from all around the world, we converge on Vancouver. So really looking forward to it. We even have runs scheduled now for first thing Friday morning. Carlos, if you're eager, right after the pre-market show, we can get out there and go do a run if you want.
I'm here Friday. I'm still here Friday. I don't fly until Friday night. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody's got to keep the doors open.
Right.
No, I'm here, man. I fly Friday night and I fly out Tuesday morning. So we got to figure out how the pre-market show will work on Monday and Tuesdays when we possibly won't have a pre-market show, because I don't know who's going to be able to run it. So
Monday we'll do it. We'll do it from the room. We'll figure it out.
I don't think we're planning to take that equipment and do that. I think we decided not to do that, Peter. We got to figure out. We got to talk to Mike, because it was such a disaster last time. Yeah, it was such a disaster. I think we decided we're not going to do that anymore, because it's just the volume, the setup is just such a disaster, man. We spend more time trying to figure out how to make it work than the actual value. So we'll see. But there's no plans to do that unless something changed after those conversations. We'll have to check.
All right.
We'll get back to you guys.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out. Sounds like Mike is already there in Vancouver. He says those red couches we see behind Andrew, for those of you that are in the chat room with him, apparently they're very comfortable. So
nice. He's tried them out already?
Okay.
That's awesome.
I mean, they look comfortable. They just look we were talking about them. They do belong in the video game Leisure Suit Larry. So anyways.
There we go.
Cool video game there. All right. Anyways, economic data. Why don't we get to that, because it did come out about 3 minutes ago now, and while the markets get a little bit of an uptick as a result, we did have a couple of things: core prices, PCE prices, GDP, and jobless claims. Let's start at with the last year at the jobless claims. Pretty much both the initial and continuing came out pretty much on schedule, or exactly to forecasts, within a few thousand, as you can see here. The GDP number, again, not a surprise, came out a little bit stronger than expected. Forecast was 2.3%, came with 2.4% growth, whereas the core PCE prices, also a little bit of a surprise, were lower than anticipated. This is the price increase, only went up 2.6%. That's actually a fairly large increase month over month, but I guess it is good that it was slightly lower than anticipated in this current month. Previously, it had rarely gotten over 2.2 maybe. So the fact that it's up 2.6, 2.7 is just showing inflationary pressures. That being said, the market, has said, did get a little uptick. I see it's given that back now. So, all right. Anyways, the only other number coming out this morning is going to be home sales. That is expected to be up by 0.9%. So we'll see if that holds. Not a big market moving number. Pretty quiet for the rest of the day from a an economic calendar. There is a Fed speaker happening at 4:30, but that'll be after the close. So we don't really care for our trading unless you're planning to trade something after hours, which I don't know. I'm not sure I'd recommend it because it's been pretty quiet. Even the earnings we've had after hours have been relatively quiet. So yeah, I guess we can look at our gappers. Oh, we actually have something on the gap up list. Well, there you go. There wasn't anything there a moment ago. So why don't we get there and we'll start talking about the things that are moving.
Absolutely, friends. Take a quick look here at our gappers list towards the top. SLNO up 36%. So we'll look at that, and then gapping down GameStop at GM. That was a very short-lived pop. So GameStop here, GME, GM, which is the General Motors, and then AMD and some other ones. So everything in the red, guys. Dow Jones, S&P 500, NASDAQ, all in the red this morning, and we're seeing a lot of tickers also feeling some of that pain today. All right, let's get to it. Good morning, guys, on YouTube. Good morning here in our chat. Welcome, guys. Let's jump right into the first one, which is going to be SLNO, which is the only one green on our list this morning. 451,000 shares traded, up 36%. But it looks ugly, man. This is yeah. Every time I see this, I'm thinking Saturday Night Live, but it's obviously backwards, and your brain just says Saturday Night Live for some reason, but it's not the case. But Peter, it's up pretty big here, but it looks pretty bad. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been on our list before. I don't really remember when or why. It's a biotech, which means it probably was some trial that they held. In this case, it's here because they got FDA approval for some, I don't know, I've never heard of this, Prader-Willi syndrome, hyperphagia in Prader-Willi syndrome. So, okay. Anyways, they got FDA approval. Good news for them. Means that they can now take this drug to trial. And yeah, the stock's getting a big boost today. You guys hear me say this all the time. I feel like I'm always negative on everything, but yeah, this is a no for me.
Yeah, I don't like it either. It doesn't look like it can trade very well, so we'll skip on it. All right, let's take a look here at the next one. Is going to be that's it. The gap up. There's nothing else. Peter, that's it. Anything you like on the gap down this morning?
You mean gap up?
Yeah, the gap up. Yeah.
That's all right. We got a mixed picture out there today with the Magnificent Seven type stocks. I look there, it's sort of 50-50 whether they're up or down. So pick whichever ones you want. On the upside, I like Tesla as always. I like Apple. Apple's been actually moving fairly well. Unfortunately, I was away yesterday morning. Missed this drop, but just sort of beautifully telegraphed moves early. I was looking for reversals on both Tesla and Apple, and frankly, never got any because they just consistently moved. So, that didn't give me a trade opportunity yesterday. It actually encourages me for today because it means if I can get in early on a move, you might be able to ride it for a long period of time. But we'll see. Yesterday's not today, so we could have a totally different perspective. So yeah, those are probably my top two. The other one that I was watching yesterday again for a reversal was Microsoft. Once again, never delivered it all afternoon, just a consistent mover. So if those are all three green this morning, we'll again see if they continue. I'm not making any bets. We could go anyway. If you listen to Engineering the Markets with Jared, he gave sort of a good analysis of where the market's sitting and the uncertainty that surrounds it. Right, we had some tariff announcement. We're going to talk about that. Well, let's wait till we get to the gap down list because we've got something on there that's directly related to it. And frankly, this continued tariff back and forth just creates uncertainty in the market, which generally means that money sits to the sideline, and you get sort of choppy movements and uncertainty. Right, we just can't trust what we see pre-market because you never know what's going to happen when the opening bell rings. And as we've seen many times, often we get a move directionally that is inconsistent with what we see pre-market. We just as often though get chop, like just crazy, just difficult to trade chop until a direction is decided upon. And Carlos and I unfortunately know that all too well as we've been stuck in it a couple of times when we've been trying to get trades. So whatever you do out there, be cautious in this period, right? Like take your trading even more slowly than you normally would, because I think that the market's warranted. When you see the opportunity, don't be afraid to jump in. But if you're saying I really don't know, or if you're jumping in out of revenge, almost certainly you should probably pull yourself aside, right? Be your own coach. Take yourself out of the game. All right, so let's get back to what's moving here.
All right, next one on here on the gap down, friends. If we take a quick look at it, we are down this morning. GameStop is leading the way. Popped up yesterday on earnings and didn't last long. So here, if you look at the daily, nice pop. But pre-market action right now, we're dropping down 8%, 1.1 million shares traded. So, Peter, short-lived pop here, and we're dropping quite a bit this morning. This thing might just not be in play going forward. We might just not get the volume anymore.
Yeah, I just don't think it's in play. And, what tells me that more than anything is if you look at the chart from yesterday, Carlos, if you take that 5 minute and scroll it back, yesterday afternoon, I said when I got back and started to look at things, it was just sort of selling off. And look what happened after the market close, right? Like right after the close, this thing dropped more than the move of the entire day in a single 5 minute candle, losing $3 here. And then bouncing back a little bit. But that just tells me, this is not truly in play. It's not heavily traded. And that move, as you said, was very short-lived yesterday. Gapped up, really sort of closed where it opened, more or less. And then, overnight we get this type of drop. So, I just don't think it's going to be interesting. What we need, if you're listening out there, Roaring Kitty, put one of those enigmatic, meme videos that you like to do, or pictures that like everybody tries to interpret them. I love that. I love it when he does that, because everybody's like, oh, you know what this means? Because in the background, he's got the logo of this, and it could be like completely random or have nothing to do with it, but he's got everybody like analyzing to death out of any picture he puts up there the last couple of times he's done it. So post something for us, right? Let's have some fun.
Yeah, I agree. Raul in chat is saying that GME had an offering after hours. Okay, that will make perfect sense. If they did an offering, that would make perfect sense. So,
know what? They have been remarkably fast at jumping on any increase in stock price to issue. Stock price to issue more shares. I've got to say, you got to hand it to management and their board. They're just like, they're unabashedly taking advantage of the markets, right? Hey, if you're going to push our price up, we'll sell more stock and just we'll bank the money, because frankly, we don't know what to do with our core business. Now I'm interpreting a little bit, but I find it humorous a little bit how they are immediately. They've done this several times now, and absolutely, thank you for pointing that out. You're right, because they issued 1.3 billion in convertible notes. So again, just saying, hey, we'll flood the market with our shares if you're willing to buy them. So. Just it's
100%.
All right,
smart move on them.
What's the guy named Gordon Gecko would be proud. Greed is good.
Yeah. Let's look at another one here. GM, obviously a whole bunch of news surrounding this one today, and all automakers. So GM this morning we're down 6.1. Again, normally not a great intraday trading ticker. Today might be a difference maker. I'm probably going to have it in a secondary just because it has big news around it, but the likelihood of us trading it is just such a bad ticker, Peter. But obviously the big news surrounding a lot of these automakers today.
Yeah, so tariffs issued by the White House and Trump are having an impact on the auto industry around the world. Global auto industry is seeing a little bit of a down day today as a result of both the uncertainty of the tariffs as well as the stuff that they do know about. So, excuse me, I'm not sure this is the effect that Trump was intending to have, but it is certainly having a direct impact on the auto industry as their stock is going down everywhere. Both on luxury and more regular brands, I will say. Ferrari was issuing some profit warnings and concerns based on the tariffs. Obviously, GM, as we can see, is affected here, as is Ford, and pretty much every automaker that is tradable on any market is seeing a little bit of an impact. So, it's interesting. I'm actually surprised that the automakers haven't been more interesting to trade. I was hoping that it would create a little more volume and a little more movement in the stock. They're still not that great to trade. After hours, because I think the announcements were supposed to come right at 4 or 4:30 ish last night. I don't know what time they actually were made, to be honest. I think it must have been sometime after 5, because if you look at GM's stock and you go back to the after hours, you can see it was like very, very flat. Then suddenly around 5:15, that's when it dropped and created this gap down. So I could only assume that's sort of when the announcements came out about the latest round of tariffs. So but during market hours, not as fun to trade as I would hope. So, because I'm all about, are they going to give me a trading opportunity between 9:30 and 4? And so far, Ford, GM have not really given that. So would GM be in play today? Possibly, but history has shown so far that hasn't been the case. So, Carlos, being that we've got very little on the list so far, I might watch it just to see if something interesting happens, but I won't be paying a lot of attention unless it really starts to move and I can catch probably a reversal on it. That would be all I would look at it for personally.
Yeah, looking at Ford, and you mentioned someone mentioned in chat that it's not moving its screen. Yeah, but I don't know how Ford distribution is as far as where they get their parts from and all that stuff. So I have no idea how that lays out. But either way, Ford barely moves. You don't get a whole lot of volume. So it's, again, not a great intraday trader as of right now. All right, let's take a look here, friends. What else we have on our gappers list? Again, brought to you completely free, guys, by tradingterminal.com. You can always go there, click on scanners, and you're going to get this beautiful list here, plus other scanners that are active throughout the trading day. Our good buddy AMD, which actually traded very well yesterday to the downside, and today is gapping down some more, down 3.4, alongside almost every ticker you can possibly think of, like Nvidia, Apple. Tesla's green, actually, because this tariff does help Tesla a little bit. So slightly green here, but everything else, MU, MSTR, I mean, you name it, is on the gap down list this morning, or at least gapping down slightly. Peter, thoughts on AMD? This traded very good yesterday, man. So, and the day before when they had a nice pop. I'm inclined to have it on my list. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, the entire semiconductor sector is down this morning with the overall markets. AMD is probably down more than the rest because they specifically got a downgrade from Jefferies. The Jefferies, one of the ratings, I guess, firms. They issued a report saying that from their view, the NVIDIA's AI chips still hold a significant performance advantage. That's a quote from their report over AMD, and as such, they feel that AMD is actually going to be losing market share, and price advantage to NVIDIA. So, not good news for NVIDIA. Not good news for AMD. Sorry, and what they want to hear. But hey, if that's the truth, or at least that's the analyst view, so be it. It might create some better tradable opportunities on AMD today. NVIDIA, I noticed, isn't really reacting to the upside. It's amazing to me how big this is, that everybody's like, yeah, they hold a market advantage, and everybody sort of expects that. Like, I feel like that's already built into NVIDIA's platform. So NVIDIA stock doesn't get a boost because of that, but AMD gets pushed down. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I'll be watching both of these, as I do every day, just to see what they're doing. But AMD, if it stays weak through the open, we might see further downside. Back to 100. I don't know. I know that people always want me to take a drink down there, but I got to fly later today, so I probably won't be. Maybe I will. I don't have to drive anywhere.
Exactly. What?
I don't know.
If there's a time, anyway. It's when you're flying and strapped into a seat. Why not?
If it gets there, I'll make a game time decision as to whether I. You know what? Maybe I won't. I'll save it, because there's going to be enough social opportunity to take a drink in Vancouver. I really don't need to start early, so I'll be fine.
Awesome. All right, let's take a look here, friends. Next one on deck is going to be, I added NVIDIA and AMD to my list at the bottom, so those are going to be on there, plus GM sitting at my secondary list at the moment. SoFi, another stock that can trade very well for some traders, not for me. I know there was a period where this stock was just taking off, and it was on our gappers list almost every day. And it was towards the end of last year, and it's part of January, right? We saw a lot of really big movements on it. Then it just kind of died down. The volume kind of went away a little bit. But today they're back here, 979,000 shares traded. They're down 2.3. Again, I'm just not a big fan of the price action with the way this thing trades. It reminds me a little bit of a PLTR, where you can have some really great days and some really just horrific trading out of it. So it's a hit or miss. And for me, it seems like when I do touch it, it's usually on the worst days, right? So I'm not a fan of it, Peter. Are you gonna be? Yeah, are you gonna be watching this one?
We all have stocks that just for whatever reason don't treat us well, right? Like I've mentioned mine in the past, like Walmart. Whatever, Walmart hates me as a stock, and I guess the feeling's mutual. So, SoFi, I get it. It could be one of yours, and it's funny. I haven't thought about this in so long. Because it used to be one of those credit service companies. Affirm has stuck around, but SoFi just disappeared. Fell right off the radar for us. So interesting, that it's back today. I don't think, as you said, it's not likely to make the list. I don't see. It's actually looks like it's been getting fairly decent, consistent volume, but pretty light price action. I don't see massive moves or swings in it. So, Carlos, I have to agree with you. I mean, even pre-market, it doesn't look awesome. So I don't see really any news either. I'm not sure why it's specifically here today. I guess it could just be random, that just happens to be over 2% and with enough volume that it hit our list today. But I don't see any specific catalyst for it.
Yeah, same here, man. I don't like it, so I'm going to leave this one alone. And last but not least is STLA, Stellantis, obviously also being affected by the news that's going on.
Yeah.
They're down 2%, but another really horrible intraday trading ticker. They move a lot on the daily. If you look at the daily, big gaps up and down here, usually after hours and pre-market hours. But for the most part, day trading, intraday action, they're not great. If there is any day where they do trade somewhat decent, will be today with all these headlines affecting them. But for the most part, I think there's better stocks to trade for sure.
Yeah, and Stellantis is one of those that they've got a very, very global supply chain, right? I mean, they've bought brands from all over the world. They've bought North American car companies. They've bought European car companies. They've got South Asian car companies, all within their mix. So you can imagine their supply chain is very fluid, and they're certainly going to be impacted because of that. Because their part sourcing is very global in the way they operate. So these tariffs are going to have all sorts of primary, secondary, and tertiary impacts on their supply chain. Not a good stock, like you said. I've always assumed. I should maybe find out one of these days. I assume that they're multiple market traded. If you just look at that daily chart, that screams to me that's been traded on other markets, which leads to all the gaps, because very small movement. It feels like the North American market just catches up with where it's primarily traded, probably somewhere in Europe. But I don't think it is dual listed. Okay, so there you go. So the people in our room are saying that it's dual listed. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It just looks like it. So not going to make the list. If you want to trade auto companies, you're probably better off sticking with the Fords, the GMs, and Tesla. Tesla could be interesting. It is interesting that it's the one car company. I don't know. It feels weird to call Tesla a car company, doesn't it? Like, I still feel like it's a tech company that just happens to make cars at the moment. But anyways, but it really is.
It's a tech company. Yeah. It's like Amazon. Like I know the regular consumer looks at Amazon and thinks it's a place to buy. No, they're an operations company. That's what they did. They created a whole operations, the logistics, super centers, whatever. So they did excellent with that. But you don't look at them just as a car company. I agree. All right, let's take a look. That covers our gap up and down list, guys. This is it, right? This is it right here. So not a whole lot that came off of this. That looks great. A lot of these are really not tradable for us intraday traders. I have GameStop on my secondary list. We'll see where that goes. Down 9%. Again, dropping some more after that offering. even though with the offering, this one might still trade somewhat decent, right? We still might see something out of it, but it's on my secondary for sure. All right, Peter, anything else you like that might not be on this list?
Just talking with Jordan in the chat room here, how he's bringing me back actually, because he said their cars are more tech than cars nowadays, and it immediately popped into my head. Remember when we used to call Tesla iPads on wheels? It was sort of like almost a disparaging comment I felt that it was made at the time, because they were the first to really come out with a very big display screen, right? Like
like TV monitor in the front.
You're right, and it is still relatively large for the industry, but it's interesting how as much as people used to joke about that and almost say it disparagingly, the reality is Tesla's been it's a legitimate car company now. I don't think anybody can argue that, and it's interesting how, as much as people used to joke about it, the industry followed. And
that's what everybody wants.
You get massive screens in almost any car now. In fact, it's sort of like the bigger the screen, the better. And bigger doesn't necessarily mean big and rectangular anymore. I mean, there's some cars I've been looking at that, like the entire front dashboard is a screen from door to door. So, it's interesting how we start sort of making fun of things and then all gets adopted. Like do you guys remember when Lexus came out with that giant front grille? And I remember looking at that and like, that is hideous. And everybody said it is ugly. And now look at every car's got this massive front plastic.
Oh yeah,
grill.
If you have a small grill, something's wrong with your car.
Yeah,
you need to have.
We just got used to it now. I mean, look at what are the
BMW
Cadillac, the Cadillac Escalade. Like that grill is the size of a small apartment in the front there. So, anyways.
I love this meme. I'm gonna pull it up here. Oh yeah, here it is. I love every time I see this meme, I just start dying, man. Here it is. Look at that. Look at the chances.
There you go. That's right.
But it's so true, man. Bigger and better. These are supposed to be the kidneys here, man. Look at this thing. They're just outrageous. But yeah, it's The first,
anyway,
the first implementers are usually looked at as weird, well ahead of his time. Like Mark Zuckerberg, man, with this AI thing, he was way ahead of this 3D thing. I think he still is. And he almost bankrupted his company, but he managed a way to kind of get it together. But he's ahead of it. But when you're ahead of it, it can cost you a little bit of pain. But yeah, guys. Anything else, Peter, on your tickers you might have in there?
Yeah, from a gap down, I notice all the quantum stocks are gapping down. I've been still keeping an eye on my qubits, QBTS, which is properly called D-Wave. It hasn't actually given me any trades, but I've been keeping an eye on it since it's the one that gets the better volume, in my opinion. But IonQ, RGTI, QUBT, those are the four big, quantum stocks. So I'm looking to keep an eye there. I am interested to see what's going to happen with the Chinese stocks. They're fairly quiet today. They're all sort of hovering around the break even, slightly green for the most part, which I found interesting. Baba, Billy, Baidu, JD, they're all doing fairly well in this environment, which not trading that well, to be honest, but hanging out here. So I thought, might be worth keeping an eye on that sector. And then, of course, all the Mag 7. Pick what you want. I talked about those that gapped up and the gap down. I noticed Apple's now gone red. It was green a little bit earlier when we started the show, but Meta has actually had some decent moves. Not, if you're a long-term investor, not the way you want, but some interesting moves. And PLTR, of course, one of our favorites. We should mention that as well. That has now made my permanent list, by the way. I put it on there just because it moves like some of the others. So I'll be keeping an eye on that as well. So that's what
if we look at PLTR yesterday, what a clean day, right? The day before was trash, and yesterday was a beautiful short. Now, given everything sold off, so we had a lot of really, really great short opportunities. But nevertheless, this did it with great volume, as many stocks that sold off here. All right, let's get to it, friends. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to random stocks. I was looking at earnings this morning to say, hey, did we have any earnings? And we didn't. Well, the only earnings I noticed that made me smile to myself was Winnebago Industries, which always surprises me that that's publicly traded. WGO. It does not trade a lot of volume. It's not a good trading stock. They beat their numbers. Who cares? I just find this is one of those stocks like WD-40 when it comes up. That always amazes me that one, it's an independent company, and two, that it's publicly traded. Because I don't know. I've always pictured Winnebago as a company run out of somewhere in the Midwestern U.S. by a family that's squabbling and are just dysfunctional. I don't know why that's what I picture Winnebago Industries to be, operated like. That could not reflect the company background at all, but I don't know why. That's just, I picture like, what was that show? Everybody watch Arrested Development? What they built houses or whatever, but anyway, Succession.
Yeah.
Succession was a media empire, I think. But anyways, I don't know why. That's what I just pictured Winnebago Industries to run like. Apparently not, because it is publicly traded, so they must have a little better of a structure. But hey, if you're interested, there you go. WGO. That's your random stock of the day.
Yeah, yeah. All right, friends, let's take a look at what you guys like this morning. I'm looking at both chats here. We did mention Baba, and also Peter did mention Baba. So looking at Baba here, again, it's not moving a whole lot. It's up 1.1. I do like the daily, right, which has kind of been holding this level of support. So there might be some action out of this one into the market open, but not likely. I mean, it's been pretty quiet over the last couple of days, even with everything dropping. It hasn't really budged. Actually, it's green today. So I don't expect much out of it. If it hits the scanners, we'll definitely take a look at it. Looking at our chat, see what else you guys like today that we can look at. See Megan's picture there of her webinar coming up this weekend. It's her birthday today. She's not on here, but if you see her, if you run into her, if you run into her at the airport, go scream "Happy birthday, Megan" as loud as you can across the terminal if you see her. So yeah, happy birthday to Megan.
That would be please. Please,
record
anybody, if you see Megan in a public place, I want you to make sure there's at least like 50 meters, 50 yards between you and Megan, and then start screaming happy birthday at her and run over. Mm-hmm. Please do that. She will love it, but hate it at the some time. So, yeah.
Please record it. Please record it. We will give you a prize. I don't know what price we'll give. We'll give you something.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
We'll give you something. Yeah.
I'll just show me the video. I'll buy your drinks for the evening if you do that, for sure. Yeah.
All right, friends, let's take a look here. What else? So we have Baba again, not so much. CRW, what is this one, Kevin, my good buddy here? CRWV. IPO. Okay, it's an IPO coming up. Okay, we'll see how that does there. Tesla, we do have on deck. Of course, I'm going to add that to my list as well. Obviously, that looks pretty good. Trades very well, so Tesla will be on here. Let's take a look at Ford. So Ford, this is normal for Ford to get this type of volume. 6.8 million shares. They get a lot of volume. Like if you look at the daily, they're above 100 million almost every day, right? 90s on the low days is 90s. So volume is not an issue for this ticker. It is very I want to say algo, or just a lot of fun being trading this one. It's not a lot of retail traders on this thing. I don't know
if you've got a level 2 even at this hour. You can sort of see it, but do you have the big orders highlighted? That's not something you do, eh?
Oh no, I don't have them highlighted. No.
Anyways, even at this hour, there's a bunch of orders that are just sitting on the level 2. Once the opening bell rings, the whole thing is just big orders, like solid.
Bid
and ask.
Both sides.
And it's impossible. Like you lose that information, right? Because it doesn't give you any indication of where it's going. Because all these orders just sit there.
It's just massive, like on both sides. So you can't even spot the imbalance. It's I know exactly what you're talking about, Peter. Take a look at Ford today, guys, to see what we're talking about. What is that? Why is it? Why did it freeze like that? Okay, interesting. All right, so that's Ford. I don't expect anything great out of it. And this tariff, again, this tariff is affecting more the cars that are, I think, getting their sourcing out of Europe for right now. And Tesla, I think mainly Tesla is in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, Peter. I think a lot of their factories are down there in Mexico. So not sure how. I believe that's where a lot of their stuff comes from. But yeah, so this is why some people are saying this could be good for Tesla. But I'm not sure where Ford, I know if obviously an American company, I'm not sure where they do other sourcing because, again, it could be an American company and the product could be built in China. We did that with GE appliances. People, we used to, I used to work for this company named Hire, and man, people, oh yeah, buy American. And they'll buy GE appliance or GE microwave or GE dishwasher. Yeah, we made that in China, 100%. Just slapped the GE name on it. And unless you went back and looked at the label in the back and said where it was manufactured, you have no idea. So we had grandma probably buying GE products thinking she's helping the U.S. All right, let's let's see here. Yeah. What else, friends? So Tesla 100% U.S. Really? Oh, that has some stuff. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I didn't know that. What else, friends? So Tesla's good. We'll have that on deck. XBEV. Let's see XBEV here. What's going on with XBEV this morning? We are... we're been moving down on the daily here, so that looks very interesting. But I haven't seen any good trading out of this one. Yesterday they seem to have traded well. Other stocks are doing much better, in my opinion, for us to watch. But again, a little bit of a sell down yesterday in the intraday because they've been down, but a lot of it's happening after hours or before hours, so we're not getting the full benefit of watching XBEV. So it won't be on my list, guys. It's not one that you should trade like it was in the past, so I won't have it on my list. But if you watch it, you see something great while we're trading, call it out and say something. So what else? What else?
No, Steve Bode in the room there. He's saying China should create a town called USA, and I'm thinking I'm surprised that they haven't. That would be just awesome. Like a mind mess. Then they could put a label on it, made in USA China, and just confuse people, right? Manufacturing center of USA China.
That is good. Manufactures their budget piano in China. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, some pianos come from China. Awesome. All right, SMCI is another one that's being mentioned here. We'll look at this one, then we'll head over to our community events and announcements. Again, a little bit quirky on the schedules, even for us in the pre-market show here. Paris is traveling today, so we'll have Eamon, which I'm looking forward to, because I don't get to see Eamon trade a lot because he's trading by the time I'm still doing the live show. So we'll get to see him. He's a great trader. He'll be trading today at 11, so definitely tune in for that. And so a lot of travels, a lot of changes here. SMCI looks good. I like the daily. They seem to be possibly losing the support here, or at least holding. This could be interesting. So daily looks good. Down 1.6, 993,000 shares traded. Me and MCI, we had some good days, but lately not really. Not that I have lost on it, but we haven't traded it. We haven't really gone out on dates, me and SMCI. So let's see if we can rekindle that love there. But I'll add it to the secondary list. Let's see where it goes. Everything looks good on it, and we'll see how it manages. Speaking of rekindling stuff, guys, let's show some love here. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. We're sitting at 21 likes. We have almost 600 people watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry, we have 105. So awesome. So thank you for those 105. But if you can help us out, really appreciate it. Let's get over to our community events and announcements. We can always check that over at bearwoodtraders.com. You click on webinars and you can see what's coming up for the next 2 weeks. Scroll down and we'll go over to Thursday, let you know what's happening.
All right. Thursday is mentorship day, and we have a number of mentorship sessions, but not as many as we normally have. Like we said, a lot of our team are converging here on Vancouver. Virtually everybody that can is going to be there. So I think that people are either leaving today or tomorrow. I don't know. Thor, if you're in the room, let me know if you're still doing your session tonight. I don't know what your travel plans are. I'll assume it's on until I hear otherwise. Jared is on doing his options trading mentorship at noon. Lenny's session at 11, though. He is going to be in flight. He was sending me messages this morning just reminding me of that. So that will not be happening. So we will not have the 11 a.m., but we will have the noon options session with Jared. He's still going to host that and be able to deliver that session. And then let's assume, for the moment anyways, that our Thursday evening session, it's popular. So I know people will be disappointed if he's unable to deliver it. But again, until I hear otherwise, we'll assume that one is a go. If you want to, it's I don't know if it's too late. I should go and check here. Do we still have tickets? I don't even know. I know. Andrew was holding back a couple of tickets.
This is my philosophy on that. You go to the website, you just buy it. If it works, you show up, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Go on the
that's true.
website. If you want to go, you really want to go there, click the button, you get a ticket, you show up. We'll get you in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We always will accommodate. If somebody shows up, we had people before that said I couldn't figure out how to buy a ticket online, but I flew here anyways, and we're like, all right, we'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah.
We'll
Ballsy,
get you
man.
in.
But
So
we got him in. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Man,
we
that's
did.
nice.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
When you
So.
want something bad, you just go do it, you know?
Hmm. Well, okay. In any event, look, that session is happening. Like we mentioned, it's happening this coming weekend. So it starts on Saturday with our TEDx session. Then we go into 2 full days. That's all about elevating your performance, elevating your spirit. It's going to be a great session. That's on the Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday is our 2 days of summit activities. And you can see the entire schedule there. So many great speakers, so many focus sessions. It's so busy and so packed with data and information and socializing opportunities. Again, I'm completely energized for it. So we'll see how it goes. My biggest problem is going to be finding time to sleep, frankly, because I want to be at every session. I want to talk to everybody in the hallways. I want to then go out and have a drink and socialize with everyone. And apparently, we're going to get some big long runs in. At the somewhere in there as well. So, Carlos, this could be rough for me, man. So, and Phil is saying mandatory hot tub and rum sessions. That was a Columbia special. Yeah, maybe if that opportunity presents, we'll do that. We did polish off a few bottles of rum sitting in the hot tub there in that house that we had in Columbia, which is
That's
overlooking
very
the.
different, Peter, when you have to wake up
I
the
know.
next day and perform.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
it's
It
very
is,
different.
but
I don't want to be
it
groggy
was.
doing these sessions, man. There's so many great
Actually,
speakers. I want to
we were up.
be, yeah.
We were busy all day in Colombia. We managed to do it, so you could do it. I mean, you may need, especially at my age, I may need a couple of weeks to recover from this. But
Yeah.
sleep
Well,
in your bed, man.
Colombia has some enhancing products that can get you going right away, right? So if you feel too bad, just sip, and
So,
yeah.
so I've heard. You mean the Colombian coffee, of course, right?
Of course, of course. I mean, what else would you think I was talking about for the YouTube algorithms? Over on YouTube, question is this summit once a year only? Yes, it is. But I'm telling you, man,
Yes.
this one is the best one so far. And I don't know if we're going to see one like this for next year or the following. Who knows? But this is like it. It's really
Yeah.
good. So
Andrew was already calling mercy on the planning for this and saying maybe we won't do one next year. So yeah, if you're thinking of going, if you're sort of saying I don't know if I want to go or not, maybe I'll just wait for next year. Don't do that. This may be the peak, and we may take a break because
it's a lot of work, man.
it's going to be
lot of work.
a once in a lifetime opportunity. I
Yep.
truly like it's a great schedule, a great event. And if you've never been to a TEDx, by the way, it's not your typical conference where people give a speech and then you listen for an hour and they put slides up, and it's not that. It's live speeches. Go to the TED website and take a look at the different presentations they've got on so many different topics. And there's events going on all around it. Like we've got an art exhibit. We've got we've got a full immersion activities that you can actively participate in. We've got, anyways, it's amazing what's scheduled for this thing. So
Yep.
Thomas
Looking
B is
forward to it.
asking where the schedule of events is. Right on the main website. If you just go to bearbletraders.com, you can get there, or put
Yep.
/summit, and then it'll be in there. But either way, just look for the summit information. You'll find it. It's right there. So
Yep. I'll just send you guys the link so
that.
you have it.
Yeah, we are less than 2 days away. It's amazing. All right, here we go. So, guys, anyways, enough about that. It's happening. It's going to be awesome. Again, there's always room for everybody that wants to attend. We do have a fire limit. Shh, don't tell anyone. We'll sneak you in. We'll get you there. Just get your ticket and get yourself to Vancouver. You'll be part of the party. Okay, let's take a look at, by the way, mods. Again, some of our mods are traveling, so we're going to get a little bit of a lighter list here from those that can share what they're doing, but get your lists in, and I'll let everybody know what's happening, by the way, while Carlos tells us what levels he's looking to set on the stocks we've identified.
Yeah, absolutely. Just look at our gap resist. AG popped up here on the gap up. Again, they normally don't trade very well, so it won't be on my list. But just in case you guys like that one, it's on the gap up list at the moment. Gap down keeps growing. QBTS is on here. SMCI, PLTR. Some of that we already kind of covered are showing up on our gap down list as they move lower this morning. All right, friends, let's get some levels in. I only really have at the moment AMD, Nvidia, and Tesla on my main list. I have SMCI down here. I might add QBTS. I see that one moving down here. I know you're talking about the quantum stuff as well. IonQ is another one, so we might do that. But let's do levels for these now, and then as we prepare for the market open, I'll add some more on here. Let's take a look at AMD right now. So AMD high of the pre-market sitting at 108.38. So 108.38 for our good buddy AMD. Towards the bottom, the low is at 106. So we'll mark those levels there. Towards the top, if you look at the daily here, you're covered. The last two trading days are done a pretty good job, even the previous day close, as far as levels going up. And they're covering some of the major areas where you would want to see levels on there. You see that? So we're covering that, which is awesome. Now towards the bottom, below the low of the pre-market right now, we see 104.34. So great level there. And then below that, this is a major level. Look at this. Look how beautiful this level is. Just look at the area of resistance, right? Breaks out of that. Now that becomes support. We definitely want a level there just in case we head lower past that 104.34 down to 101.84. So again, very, very clean levels. AMD usually does that for us. Their daily looks pretty good. Nvidia, again, the weakness continues. Low of the pre-market, which we are approaching right now for the session, is 111.54. The high of the pre-market sitting at 113.44, so we'll slam two levels there, and then towards the bottom we are going to slam another one at a 109.90, and then obviously the big area here, this is an area, right? We're going to take the higher level closer to the price action, which is not going to be this week. It's going to be this one right over here, this 105.36. We'll take that one and we'll see how this one plays out. Towards the top, highs and lows pretty up around 120, 118. We do need something right here midpoint. There is some areas where there's a lot of flirting going on, so we're gonna slam ourselves here at 115.73. You can see the price action just banging itself up against all these levels there on the daily opening and closing, so we definitely want to have that there for you. Tesla towards the bottom, friends, we have low of the pre-market all the way down at 265.04, so we'll put a level there, and then towards the top we have another one over at a 275.75. Surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days, doing a pretty good job there. We'll do one more towards the bottom, low of the pre-market at 256.34, and then right here over at 249.33 on Tesla. So again, great volume again this morning. 5.4 down 1/4% here. So again, not moving a whole lot. It was down lower, recovered nicely, came into the green, right? Was in the red, came into the green. It has been holding the previous day close pretty nicely here. So let's see how Tesla trades today. Looking forward to that one. Has been treating us very well over the last couple of days. And then somebody asked me for Tesla 8 a.m. candles earlier. What are the 8 a.m. candles on Tesla? Let's take a look here. We'll get that for you. 8 a.m. Well, 8 a.m. the high of this one is looking at 275.63, and then the low just right above the previous day close at 272.26. That's your high and low of the 8 a.m. candle, which again a lot of people use here in our community. Some people use the 8:30, but the 8 a.m. candles got the most action today, that's for sure. All right, that's what I have, Peter. Let's take our team through what our team is watching.
Yes, indeed. Our mods are starting to get their list in, those that are trading today and aren't on the road. Thor's first in. He's going to be looking at Apple and Amazon primarily. Mike doesn't have anything particular. He's just going to watch the scanners and see what moves for him today. Eamon's looking at Tesla for a potential long. Phil is looking at NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, and PLTR. Nathan's going to be watching the Magnificent 7 and AMD. I've got my usual list. I'll also be keeping an eye on PLTR, Microsoft, and Bubba. I got one IPO potentially to let you know about. And Brendan's in with his list, watching Tesla, AMD, PLTR, and NVIDIA. Brian just posted up here NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, PLTR, and of course the market overall. Carlos has already given you his list. He's gone through the levels on the few things he's watching, like SMCI, NVIDIA, and Tesla. He's going to keep an eye on GM, General Motors. If it starts to move, maybe I'll take a look at it. Certainly not on my primary or secondary list. It'll be in the background. So we'll see where that goes. Guys, whatever you choose to trade, right, do it cautiously. Like I mentioned in the outset here, I find that these markets require more focus and attention, right? You've got to make sure that you're prepared for changes of direction and changes of sentiment on any move. And there's a great opportunity out there, but you've got to be vigilant. So stay vigilant. Take smart trades and you'll be fine. If you're traveling, by the way, to Vancouver, really looking forward. I want everybody who's there, by the way, say hi personally. Don't be shy. Some people are like, oh, I didn't want to come and bother you and approach you. I get that like every time. And it's usually like the last day of the session. Don't do that. Come up, say hi. Love to meet all of the people that share their mornings with us, share your trading with us, right? It's a big thrill for us to understand that we're able to help you and be part of your life. And it is a funny thing, right? Because I get to talk at you every single day, but you don't often get to sort of answer back. So this is your chance face to face to say hi. Carlos and I love it, right? And it really gives us sort of a thrill to know that there's real people out there. So it'll be great.
Yep.
So,
yep. Absolutely.
Anyways, see you in Vancouver.
Yeah. All right, friends, we are all set to go. 9 minutes to the market open. I got my list ready, getting my chart set up to what we need here. So we'll look at the 5 minute and we'll look at the 1 minute. I see Brian logging on to chat. So I'm going to disconnect here from chat room, guys. Brian and Andrew should be on there shortly. I see Brian ready to rock and roll. His guys sign on.
Ready to go. He's
he's
already in Vancouver, always there. So didn't have to go anywhere.
Always there. That's right. All right, we'll hop off from chat and we'll continue here on YouTube for our friends. Friends, remember, there's a bunch of live sessions going on. We got Avi does his mentorship sessions, so if you're interested in that, you could go to Trading Terminal Academy to see Avi train live. He's traveling today. He started yesterday his 20-hour journey to get to Vancouver.
Ouch. Look, he's got a long way to go every time we put one of these things on, but I guess that's what you get when you live in the Mideast.
Yeah, and he loves it. He loves every bit of it. Who else? Andrew and Brian are in the chat room, so if you want to join the chat, you can see them trading live as well. So again, there's a lot going on. Definitely take advantage of it. Road Warrior, yeah, he's that's a heck of a flight, man. The longest I've done is probably 8
gone
hours.
To like every session we've done. It's amazing.
Yeah. New York.
He's always up for a party. He's always attending all of these things. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So definitely, I think he sent a picture. He's gonna put a picture on Instagram. I'll pull it up as we go through this here. All right, so I got my 5 minute, my 1 minute, and we'll see how everything goes. Tesla showing some weakness before we get to the open. Overall market kind of sliding down here. SPY at least is showing trying to make a new session low here as it moves lower. And we have the QQQs. What are we doing? Same thing, just kind of sliding down a little bit here. So a lot of weakness, a lot of red on the screen today, friends. So looking forward to today.
I'm a giant salt lick here. You probably don't need to know that, but I took my run this morning and I didn't have a chance to take a shower. But it's like I've got this like crusted salt, especially over my head. When you're bald, you get it like basically I sweat out my head, and then especially when it's really cold out, you notice it, and then it just because it evaporates so fast, I just end up with salt all over my forehead.
Oh. Yeah. Not looking forward to it, but we're getting there. We're going.
Yeah, it happens. It's all good.
Yep. All right, excellent. We are just ready, set to go. Looking forward to Eamon. We'll have Andrew first at 10:30, and then we'll get Eamon at 11. So should be a really fun morning. I'm going to. Tough, are you heading in that direction? Being bald is not so bad, right? The Rock taught us that, you want to be bald is fine. It's cool. It's sexy. It's not a bad thing. It's just Just very proud.
I'm telling you,
not a bad thing.
It a whole new perspective to like showering. I mean, literally, I could take a shower and I just do this, and then I'm good, right? Head's dry.
Gotta look at the
I don't even need a towel.
look at the benefits, of course. Gotta look at the glass half full, always.
Yeah, it's I tell you, there's lots of there's good sides to it.
Yep.
The downside is, in the
Yama's
sunlight,
asking,
you gotta
go ahead.
wear hats. You gotta wear hats in the sun.
Oh yeah. Don't want to get burned up there. Could suck.
It's Carlos. I don't know. Like I used to, I had the monk thing going for a period of time where I went bald in the back circle, right? First.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can be in denial as a guy, right? That you've got a bald spot. I remember there was, some parents were taking a picture. My daughter did figure skating or something, and they were sitting a number of rows back, and they took a picture. And I honest to God, I looked at these pictures, and I'm like, who's that guy talking to my wife? Right, because there was some bald guy, and I didn't actually acknowledge I was bald because I still I still brushed my hair across in the front, and there was this big bald spot in the back. Like I sort of knew it was there, but I was in mental denial. So, anyways, but the very first time though, you burn the crown of your head, God damn it, that hurts. That hurts.
Oh man,
hurts in both emotionally and physically.
Yes. Yeah. All right, friends. All right, we're ready. Let's see what's taking place here. Barbers are ridiculous. How expensive it is? Yeah, barbers are crazy. A lot of my guys that I used to go to, when COVID happened, they found a way to work from home, or they rented houses near where the shop was, and now they're by appointment, and they're charging an arm and a leg, and it's like they figure, hey, I could make more money here, not have to pay the rent, monthly, and they're making it work, man. It's just, but they're expensive. They know they got a hold on the market.
I don't know that. A $15 pair of clippers, I use them till they break. Last me years.
I got clippers, right? I do as much as I can, but then it gets to a point where everything just starts looking weird. Like you could tell there's no foundation, so I got to go back and just get the foundation done. Then I could keep it going for a couple of months. It's never the same when somebody else does it.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. AMD making a new low, man. Feeling the weakness. I'm watching that one. That one's dropping down. Nvidia.
I'll keep an eye on AMD as well.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping for a pop-up, a very aggressive pop-up. I was hoping actually for it to move to VWAP, and then we could take a short, my Fallen Angel type trade here. Sorry, Rising Devil type trade. I'm just not sure if now it's moved far enough away. I'm not sure it can get that high, and if it does get that high, the risk is it might continue. But let's see what happens. It's still at a decent level, so AMD's absolutely on my list. I noticed Tesla's gone red in the last couple of minutes here, so.
Yep.
Dropping. Don't know what to do with that one, to be honest.
Absolutely not, Yama. I will not let robots cut my hair. No way. There's limits to what will allow to happen.
Yesterday.
Oops. I went off by an inch. Yeah. There goes your ear. No, I don't think so.
Yesterday morning, I wasn't here, and I want to thank John. I should have done that earlier for sitting in for me, and trust it all went well on the show. Yeah. But I was at the dentist, and it's funny. There was a new dentist or periodontist, and the old periodontist had retired. New one came in, and the first thing she said is, "I'm not a robot," and I'm like, "What? No, okay, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing. It's good to know that you're a real human." She said, "I was just watching this training video for periodontists where they're showing specific procedures where they replaced crowns, and they had a robot using AI." Doing this crown surgery, and it was supposed to be more accurate. She says, frankly, I was watching it. It was leaving gaps because a crown needs to be completely flush to your tooth or you get food in there and problems. And she said, I was not impressed. So I just want you to know I am not a robot. And I said, okay, I'll take your word for it. And secondly, thanks for letting me know. Appreciate it.
Yeah, note it.
Yeah.
Very weird to start a conversation, but yeah, hey. We'll take it.
But if she ever turned around and started watering the plants, then I would know.
Then you would yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm out of there. I'm telling you, I am running for the door at that point. So.
Man, good times.
All
right, friends, here it is. 30 seconds to the market open. Remember, I'm going to be patient. I don't trade. 3 minutes into the market, I do not trade at all. I could trade maybe around minute 3, minute 4, but I'll be looking for a 5-minute opening range break up or down. So I'll be patient with that process. If we see something good at minute 3, we'll take something. Peter, I know you'll focus on a pop on AMD. You thinking of going long, or you thinking of shorting the pop? That's like a rising devil. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna short the pop if it happens. So yeah, sorry, John, I didn't have my alarms. I actually turned them off yesterday because I was in the chair. So there's the opening bell.
All right, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, off we go. So yeah, my alarms are off this morning. All right, see, here's look at the big pop here on AMD. We're getting
you see that 106.75. I mean, it's just there it is.
Let's see what happens.
Nice pop.
Wow.
That's some really wild price action.
Whoa.
Right? Ooh. Whoa. Keeps going.
Yeah, no, super big. Wow. Okay.
107.
So that is actually too much of a pop. That's
that is
more
too strong.
That's too strong. That's more than I'd bargained for. So unfortunately, makes it harder to short. I'm still tempted to try and short it from up here, but it's a risky. It would be a risky play.
Yeah, because just the way.
Just the strength on which it popped here. What's the market doing? The market's not doing much.
Nvidia down for a little bit now, back up.
Now we're the top side of VWAP, which, gosh, I do want to short it, but it's not in the right spot.
Yeah.
Tesla still moving higher here. Actually, it's looking relatively strong. See, there you go. Good. So glad I stayed out of AMD. Got a new pop to new high. So my trade premise broke. Even GM got that's the other one I was watching for potential pop and drop, and it again popped a little farther than I anticipated. So I'm just gonna wait and see what happens here on the open.
Yeah, a lot of these are breaking through pretty good here, so just got to be careful. Why is AMD popping? I think it's just reaction, religio from the overall sell-off, right? We've been selling down quite a bit yesterday and today, so you might see a little relief and it popping up a little. It might not be actually news related. It's just the market reacting to where the price is right now, right? So there might not be anything major behind it. It might not even last. Like this still might come back down. So just kind of wait and see here. So we're coming up on minute 3 in just a second. Again, I'm still waiting for a setup as I usually do. All right, so AMD is coming back down. But now it becomes a little tougher to take that trade, Peter, right? Because you're not going to get the flush, right?
Yes. I did go short, I have to admit, on AMD.
Okay.
107.25, roughly, 26, I guess, is my entry. So taking a partial now that we're below VWAP. Okay. All right.
Nice trade, man. Nice.
Put my stop over the high of day, so I had about a 40-cent risk.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can get $1 on this.
Oh man, that is.
There we go.
Getting it.
Take another partial.
Yeah.
Got a $1. Let's see if we can get low of day now.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, we are looking at the 1 minute. I had the wrong chart. Sorry, guys. I did want to show you the 1 minute, not the 5 minute. Apologies for that. Had the wrong screen selected over on YouTube. Thanks for calling it out. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce what those are, but yes.
Yeah, I don't. Those aren't
fishes,
symbols
like
that I
fishes
know how to pronounce.
Yeah. What is your U.S. name? If that's your name, what is your U.S. name? All right, here it is. Oh man, Peter, you are in it.
There we go. Okay, take another partial. Yes. Now that we're below 106.
Yep.
Okay.
So Peter shorted at 107.20. 107.20 up here. So
25. Yeah.
25. Yep. Even better.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, with a stop, my stop was at 107.67. So I said just like 42 cents risk. Put it over the high of day. just to see how far we could go.
Yeah. I'm looking
And,
at
you know,
No, go ahead, Peter.
the fun could be over. You know, you don't know, or this thing could go all day. So I want to hold on to some shares. We'll just wait. If I get a pullback to VWAP and it falters, there would be an opportunity for me to add into this short. Otherwise, it's I may just have to hold on to this and wait for an hour or more to see where we go.
Yeah. I like NVIDIA for a possible short. I am getting my signal here. I don't like the fact that the 5-minute is green, but on the 1 minute, this is our short entry for the play that we like. So yeah, let's take NVIDIA short here. Let's see if we can get to at least the low of the day. Would be nice. We don't want to see us go above the VWAP. The one thing I don't like though is that the 5-minute is green. So I don't like that, but everything else on the 1 minute is my signal. We talked about this, right? The pop, the down, the kind of the reaches of the VWAP, and then the slam. So let's see if we can get the slam. It's what we do every day, guys. I know this is going to be boring for you, but this is the same thing I look for every single day. So let's see if we can get the slam down to the low of the day here on NVIDIA. All right. But yeah, man, great. Man, 105. You're looking good, buddy, on this AMD.
See if it keeps going.
Nice. Let's see here. Time for long with tie stops. Not sure what you meant. Sure. We are using Dash Trader Pro as our platform. So a lot of us use Dash Trader Pro as the platform to trade. All right, NVIDIA here. As long as we stay below the VWAP, I don't want to see this close above the VWAP. We want to see it continue to make newer lows, lower lows. So we want to see that steadiness and hopefully a flush, right? But nice engulfing on the 5-minute now too. I mean, I'm already in it, but if you're looking for an engulfing pattern, look at the 5 minutes giving you that now as well. If you want to enter, if you had an idea of that trade, not if you want to enter, you do whatever you want, but if you had an idea of that trade, that's also setting up there.
I think people, if you're asking me about the platform, yes, I use DAS Trader Pro is my the platform, the display platform, attached to independent brokers, IB, as my back-end broker. Mm-hmm. So IB actually does the trade execution. It's all displayed through the DAS Trader Pro system. DAS Trader, yes, it does give level 2 data for trading in Sim, Daniel. Absolutely. You get full level 2, you get time and sales. Yeah, everything. Their simulator, their simulator, it's the same tool, right? The simulator is not a different tool. All you do is you use a fake account. You use an account that doesn't trade real money. But the platform is identical if you buy their sim.
Which is awesome, because I remember back in the days when Thinkorswim, not that I used Thinkorswim correctly at that time, I was still very new. I remember Thinkorswim, they had a simulator, but it was like 20 minutes delayed, right? And some features were not there. So took a partial here, guys, on NVIDIA just in case. And some features were not there, right? With the simulator, with the way they did it, by just switching the account number, nothing is delayed. Everything is live. I mean, it's what you want to do, right? When you go to get your license, you don't practice on a Toyota Corolla and then go take the test on a Hummer. It's just the same exact car. So the same exact car. So when you go into the test, there's pressure, the emotion gets turned on, but you already had a lot of practice in this car, so you know it very well. All you have to do is perform, right? So it's an amazing tool. It really is. They've done a great job with their simulator.
Yama, car. Wow, surprise move here. Not a lot of volume. It's still less than 1 million shares here, 10 minutes into the market open, or 9 minutes. But yeah, good move up anyways. Not something I would normally keep an eye on. I checked Carvana just to see if it was also moving. I noticed it's moving down, also on very low volume. But
what is that one? CVNA.
Carvana.
Yeah, got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got less than 400,000 shares, so it's definitely not in play today.
Yeah.
Daniel, to your question, no, you do not need a cash or margin account. You will if you wanted to trade real money, obviously, later, and you can attach it to. You can open that with any broker, or many of the brokers. But if you just want a simulator account, you don't need a cash account somewhere. It's just pure simulator, and you can attach one to your platform later.
I use Thinkorswim without delay, and yes, I used to paper money on Sim. Yeah, but is Thinkorswim? I mean, I have Thinkorswim, but I haven't used their Sim account in years, so I don't know what it looks like anymore. Is there a delay on it now or no? On the paper account?
In DOS? I don't think
No,
so.
no. I know that's no in Thinkorswim.
No.
I'm asking how you
Thinkorswim? No idea.
I mean, I have. I could probably go check myself, but I'll do that later. All right, NVIDIA at the low of the day at the moment. I'm going to take another partial, guys, just because, again, we had a very good move. If we do decide to go back to the VWAP, I do not want to take all these shares with me. So partial here and take advantage of the move. We got a pretty nice drop so far from the open. And we'll see if the trend continues. But, again, we can as easily be back up here. AMD for you is doing the same thing, just kind of holding here. Are you all out, Peter, or you still got some left?
Oh, no, I'm still hanging on to it.
Nice. I mean, your entry's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it might go back to my break even. If it does, then so be it. But I'm holding on for a bigger move.
Makes perfect sense. Thanks, Walden. Yeah, this one turned out really, really nice on NVIDIA today. So we'll see if we can get. I mean, we did pretty well right now. Let's see if we can get if we can add on to it by it dropping. So will be nice to keep losing the low of the day here if things are gonna go more south. I'm cold. Why is it? I gotta check the heater, man. So it's freezing. Peter, I got my gas bill for January, by the way. Holy smokes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my, I'm like, what is happening? It is just double what we do on a regular basis. Like double. I was just like, what took place? This is when we were in those single digits, right? Single low digits. Whew, man, oh man. This thing was working overtime. So my wife is like, what's this? I'm like, hey, you got to keep the house warm.
Right. Well, don't argue with that, man. It's a minor cost in the big scheme of things. I know when I was a kid, yes, there was always the argument over the thermostat with my dad and my mom, and I just, just let it happen.
Absolutely, man. I tell my wife the rule is, you don't turn it up if you're hanging out in shorts and a t-shirt. Go get some long PJ pants, get a sweatshirt, and relax. You can't have it at 90 degrees. We like it chilly, though. We usually don't have those arguments. We like it pretty nice and cold. You should see Con Ed bills here in NY. Delivery charges went up for me too, man, a little bit this month. But yeah, delivery charges are going up as well. So it's just wild. Right, NVIDIA just hanging here. If it starts making higher highs, again, it already made a higher low here. I'm going to take, again, there's no need to take all these shares up there. So we'll take another one here. That feels actually okay. And I'll stop out of break even. So we had a very good trade. I was expecting more, though. I think it would have been nice to get another leg down. We didn't get it. And if you look at this 5 minute, it's looking rather interesting. Maybe we're going to engulf the other way now. So I don't want to be part of this move. And I do see, I'm going to get out of it now. So we'll take everything off here. It's a lot of ask on the level 2. So again, it's just not worth holding through a pullback or to my break even at this point. So we'll take everything out. But really good trade, man. We got a $1.50 on it almost. So not bad. Not bad. AMD for you. AMD's looking good. Looks like it's trying to hold, and maybe we can get another leg down, and it would be nice. 5 minute ORB on Tesla. Yes, if you were looking at it, 5 minute ORB here. We still might get something, Ben, on this one. If it comes back down, I'm sorry, Christine. If it comes back down, we might be able to take it long here. If we can stay above this 275. Tesla does look long. And Andrew is long Tesla, by the way. He's just partialing now. So he was long around the consolidation period here. Oh, sorry. Gotta keep one minute. Here it is. Consolidation period right on here. He's in and he's taking partials now. This pop took some partials out. But he is trading TSLL at the moment. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm so glad I took these partials, my friends. Man, oh man, look at Nvidia go, engulfing the other way. You know, that is really nice, really nice. That is
MLGO. Perfect. It's one that we were talking about, or at least a few people were talking about pre-market. Got a good move up here this morning.
MLGO.
MLGO, microalgo. All right. Well, I'm just watching this trade. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
If we get looks like Andrew was trading against you on Nvidia.
No, I'm out. He could have that. he actually got in. Look, oh man, look at the thought process here. This is awesome. Hold on a second. Can I get a screenshot of this? Probably the best way to do would be like this. Let's see if this works. Okay. Quick sneak peek of what Andrew's doing over here. Take a look at his entry on the 1 minute. Right over here. You see this? I was not looking at his screen, and that's exactly where I got out. Right? So if you look at my screen now, right, and you look at where I'm getting out, right on there, because I'm getting the signal, hey, this is going to go long. I'll need to stop out, right, break out, break even, you know, make what I make. And Andrew saw the same signal, hey, this is a good possible long. And he gets in long, and here he's parceling out over here. So, man, that is pretty nice. We're seeing the same thing and reacting to it differently. So that is awesome. Yeah, Daniel, I did notice I was muted for a second there. So I was answering your question, by the way. So we do use marketable limit orders for buy and sell. And the slippage can happen in so many different ways. It can happen by the time I click on the button, the prices move so fast. By the time I click on the button, the price could have moved already, and that could be slippage, right? By the time it goes out to the server, whatever broker, there could be a little bit of slippage here and there. So that's why that would happen. Mainly, I think it's because by the time we hit the button, the price moves, right? So I think that's where the slippage comes from. In some cases, we've seen when there's not a lot of volatility, what will happen is your triangle will show up, it will stay white. Even on a market limit order, it hasn't happened to me in a long time, and it won't happen on Nvidia. But there's some stocks where you send your limit order, and the triangle will stay there for a little bit, will get like half filled, and then will get filled completely. I haven't seen that happen in a long time. Yeah, slippage is part of the game. I don't think you have to worry too much about it when we're trading the stocks that we're trading. If you're trading low floats where the price can go from, $6 to, $4.50, yeah, got to be very careful. Slippage on that is like you blow up your account, so got to be careful with stuff like that. We use marketable limit orders, Peter. I think you do the same thing too, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Should have added a VWAP. I didn't actually add on that. Good drop down.
Yeah, and then
missed an opportunity. It had pushed through VWAP, so that made me a little nervous. So I didn't add, but.
This is a very on Nvidia. Let me show you the 5 minute, guys. This is a very strong signal here. I don't like flipping positions. So even though I had a great trade here, I have a hard time saying, okay, now let me take this the other way, even though I saw, okay, there's a potential long. Because I had problems with that before where I would be in a bad trade. Oh, if it's going to keep going long and I'm short, then let me just switch and go long, and then it goes short, right? So I've been there, done that, and that burned me a lot. So I'm hesitant to quickly switch positions. Even when I'm in the green, even when I'm done well, I'm hesitant to go the other way, even when I spotted it here. So, but NVIDIA, man, beautiful pop right to the high of the day. Andrew's in this. He added right here as well. So he added some more this morning right in this area. So he's added, parceling. He's having a really nice day today. Okay, look at Tesla. I like Tesla. Possible long here. 5 minute looks interesting. Tesla. I just don't think our entry is great. I don't think we have a good risk to reward here. Where's our target on Tesla if we go long here? What do we have? I don't have anything into way up there to it. That's too far out. I need something closer. Maybe 278, 77. We appreciate that. You like our style better. Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong or better or not. It's just, what do you feel comfortable with? What do you yourself as a person like as a trader, right? So Andrew's style is amazing. I wish I could trade like that. I can't. I'm more calm, more relaxed. I like to be a little more patient. Eamon style, you're gonna see Eamon today, very different style, but he's also a great. I wish I could have the returns that Eamon has. He's an awesome trader. As far as the odds, he'll risk 1R and get 7 or 8. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting that. But then he trades very little because he's very selective, right? So you have your pros and cons to everything you do. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, and this is why we have 29 strategies, 29 different strategies on how people trade the market. So go in there, check it out in the chat room, and see in our education center, and see what you kind of align yourself with more, and then go after it. So I think that's one of the hardest things is being able to see quickly identifying what are you good at. Once you do that, then you can focus in and just become really good at it. But that's the hardest part. The first step, that's the hardest one, identifying what you're good at. All right, I want to take another trade here, but I don't see anything good. I don't want to force it, but I do feel like there's still some opportunities left. We're getting to 10 o'clock. I was thinking about Tesla long, but the more I look at it here, it's not really that clean. I'll be forcing like a category 2 or not really an A-class trade, so I'm gonna stay away from that. AMD here. Wow, AMD just got to you. It didn't even get to you. It missed you by like a penny
away. A penny away. That was crazy. I was expecting to get stopped out, so I mean, it probably will at this point. The fact that it's gone. Well, I don't know.
Man, let's see.
The fact that it's gone that aggressively above VWAP usually means that I get stopped out, but
yeah, it will usually come back to VWAP and hold. But this market has been so wild, man. Most shocked me, this thing is back down to the low of the day. It's been so unpredictable, and this is why I kind of didn't jump in on Tesla. Because, again, although it looks like a breakout here, this market's been just weird. You got to be very, very careful on what you take long here. But I'm just not going to jump that party. NVIDIA struggling to make a new push here, but it's looking good. That's a healthy pullback you're getting there, and that's a nice move up. The risk to reward here is not in it for me. We're too far from VWAP now. We had an opportunity earlier, but we didn't jump on it, so we're just gonna stay on the silence right now. But this is a great move here on NVIDIA. So hopefully you guys took it. All right, I see MLGO being mentioned. What did you guys take? What did you guys trade? Wow, look at that. Let's go up 22%. Micro Algo doing some madness today. All right, what do you guys trade? So play of the day was Baba. Don't tell me that because I didn't have Baba on my list. Don't play with me. Oh, wow. Look at that move. Hey, you can't catch them all, right? It's not like Pokemon. It's just can't do that. It's not the way it works. But yeah,
All right,
nice.
now I'm stopped out of AMD. So.
Well, you did get a good partial. You got $1.
Oh yeah,
Think,
no,
right?
I got
Yeah,
a
you got
couple
a
good
couple.
partials.
Okay.
You know, I'm fine. Again, my opening range trades, I don't normally expect them to. It's just a bonus, you know, if they continue
Yeah.
the trend. So.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So Yama, play of the day, Baba, awesome. How you define RR risk to reward? Well, we define it based. The easiest thing is to define your stop first, and then the reward. You never know the reward, and the reward is going to be at the next area where you can possibly find some resistance, right? The next technical level. So on the onboarding class, we'll go over this. So if you want to join me on Monday. We got to figure this out. But if you want to join me on the onboarding class, we have them every Monday. This month is going to be a little bit weird with our schedules, but we go over all of that, right? A risk reward, and our education center has all these videos. But basically, you're risking 1 to at least make 2. The math should at least be that. You're not always going to get 2. You might get 1.5, but that's the plan to identify the risk to reward. It's a lot more to it than that. Obviously, it's kind of like the Reader's Digest, but
Yeah.
We got plenty of videos about risk to reward. All right. What else, friends? Let's see. All right. So we had that NVIDIA AMD long, beautiful. Did you take it long? That's nice. Baba moving clean. Yep. Yeah, awesome. Some really nice breakouts on stocks that I did not have on my watch. Let's say like Baba. I'm gonna just put this here so I can keep an eye on it. And maybe we can set up good for reversals. Baba could be a great reversal stock later at 10:30. So we'll see how it does here. My Tesla idea might work out here. I was thinking long, but again, just the risk reward's not there for me. NVIDIA, same thing, looking strong. Andrew's raising his hands and celebrating, so he's feeling good. I can tell how Andrew's doing when he starts doing this.
Yeah.
And doing this, that's I know he's doing well.
When he does the victory stretch, yes.
Yes, we call it the victory stretch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
200 on the day in this example. Let me see. So help me with risk reward simply. If I'm risking 100 in a day for day trading, I expect to earn at least 100 on the day. Not on the day. It's per trade. Forget about the day, right? It's per trade. When you take a trade, you want to risk, and 100 is a lot for new people, so we're going to go easier. You want to risk $10 to make $20, right? So you enter, and when I say risk, doesn't mean you're going to enter a trade with $10 because you're only going to get no shares, right? Let's say you want to trade NVIDIA. You're going to enter NVIDIA. You're going to take as many shares, let's say 500 shares to risk, and the math's not going to work out there, to risk $100 here, $10, whatever. You want to risk 100, no matter what the buying power is. Forget the buying power. You're going to risk up to $100, so from here to here, and then you're going to try to make at least 2. You're going to try to get to at least here, right? At least make 200. Okay, so that's the idea, right? That's the plan. Like in my case here, we got in, we risked above the VWAP. This is 1R, right? So we're risking 1R. You're going to hear that terminology. You want to make 2Rs, and here we got to 2Rs. Now, given the fact that I partial, right? We took 50% off here, stopped out. We're not going to get the entire 2R. We'll get like 1.5, 1.8, right? So because the way I partial, right? I'm very aggressive with the partial. So yeah, that's what I mean by it. Hopefully that helps. And again, guys, our education center, you're going to find so much free material. Also, one more thing I want to show you before I forget. Let's go to TradingTerminal.com. I want to show you this as we're waiting for things to set up for a possible reversal. If you go to TradingTerminal.com, let me show you. You click on Academy. I was shocked at the amount of free stuff that we have here, friends. Let me show you. Actually, I'm gonna bring it. Can I make this nice and clean? I want to make this screen even cleaner. And Peter, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there's so much free stuff on here. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. I could get screamed at later. But here it is. You come here, you go to courses. Look at this free button here. You click on, click on here, introductory courses, click on view courses. Look at the amount of free material that you have on here. You want to see what Thor has on here? Click on Thor. Look at this. Look at the titles of these courses. Like, you can't make this stuff up. You know, like, this is like,
Yeah.
this is insane, and they're very high quality. Like, these are good quality videos, guys, right?
Yeah.
So take Avi. I know you guys like Avi. There's Avi. I know you guys love Andrew. Here's Andrew. Jump in there, man, and take advantage of all the stuff that's there. So trainterminal.com, you click on Academy, click on the free courses, and you're going to find a bunch of stuff that you can enjoy there. So yeah, good stuff. HR is going to email me, what are you doing? That's a mistake. We're supposed to fix that. There's supposed to be like a $10 charge or something. Waiting for the email. All right. But yeah, take advantage, guys. Take advantage of all the free material that we have. All right. It's do we actually calculate your position size? It's more visual rough estimate. A humble stock trader. It's more of a visual estimate, but that's later down the line. Again, I've been doing this for 7 years. Peter's been doing it for plus 8 years, right? I think you started with a year before me as far as day trading when it was Vancouver Trader. So over time, you just eye it. I'll be honest. A lot of stuff I eye it. Okay, here I know I could take 500 shares. Here I know I could take 1,000 shares because the stock doesn't move that much. In this stock, I got to type it now. I got to take 250 shares because it's very volatile. So you just... This math just comes natural after years and years of trading. At first, you got to be more strict, with how many shares you're taking and how much you're risking. So you got to be, right now, what I risk right now can vary a little bit, right? A couple of, $50 that way, $50 the other way. It's not a big deal at this point. But I first, especially when you're trading very small, it is a big deal. You want to make sure your calculation is accurate, right? So, man, look at Tesla go. Tesla doing his thing. Peter, when are you flying out? You flying out today?
Tonight, yeah, 6 o'clock.
Tonight. Okay. Oh, so you got the red
second
eye?
The market closes, I am out of here, off to the airport.
Awesome, man. Wait, what time is your flight?
6.
Oh, market closes. They said after the week close. I'm like, wait a minute. How long are you going to be at the airport for? Okay, market. Yes. That makes sense. Correct. All right. Very nice. So for pre-market show tomorrow, I'll log in. And are you going to try to join me? If you can. I know it's early, man. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So
that's the plan.
You should be able to use the vMix link, and we'll run it. And it should be perfectly fine.
Should work fine.
Yep. All right, Tesla's running here, friends. Let's see, NVIDIA going. I think Andrew's still in NVIDIA. So he has some shares there. SPY's pushing high. SPY's actually going into the green. So pushing his way into the green here. I was right on Tesla. It's good to be right. Not good that I didn't take the trade.
Yeah, should have flipped your position. Tough to do. I've never been able to do that.
It's hard to do, man. I did it when I was messing up big time. So, for example, I did it when I was in the opposite trade. Well, if you're gonna go long, then I'm gonna go long too. And then guess what? Nice time to go short and take more money from you. So, it's the thing with flipping is you have to have enough time to have done your analysis. That this is a long. Here's my risk to reward. You gotta be able to do all of that. And just flipping out of position, I can't do it that fast. Some people can. I need a little more time to just kind of recalculate things, and I don't want to just be trigger happy. So, gotta be careful there. SMCI is trash today, guys. It's just so bad. So, I know I put this on my secondary list. It is just horrible, so it didn't trade very well. This is a stock that sometimes can, again, it reminds me of PLTR, which we'll look at in a second. On how it could be great at times and then just pure garbage. And we're gonna give this a big old garbage truck. We haven't ran the garbage truck in a while, so we're gonna run it right here. Make sure that the hot.
Gotta give the garbage truck some exercise.
Yeah, we'll make sure the garbage can is ready and not stalling on us. So there it is, big old garbage truck. But yeah, GM same thing, right? It's a tough stock to trade. Light volume right now, so not really much happening there. Let's look at Ford. So Ford did eventually end up dropping. So here it is, right? We're wondering why Ford was not feeling the effects of the tariffs and all of that. But they're dropping here, although they're made 100% in US, right? So that's interesting. So bit of a drop there, down 3.2. Peter, here's what you're talking about. What you were talking about earlier, remember? Here it is. Even now, at later in the day, you still have all these large orders here, and it's worse at the market open.
Yeah.
So
there's Ford here. Let's bring Ford up. See, Ford, I have anything over 2,000 shares marked, and basically the thing is just black, like the whole most of the screen. Yeah. So it just means it's hard to know. Like, it doesn't give you any indication of direction, right? So, because there's just too many orders sitting around.
Agreed.
Anyways,
friends over on YouTube, we're sitting with 100 of you guys. Really appreciate you guys being here. Hit that thumbs up if you can. We'll love to get to 350 is a good number, right? Almost a little bit less than half of what we have us on will be awesome, man. So if you could take the time to do that, I'll do it myself here. 242. We really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. It's the only reason we ask. It doesn't make me feel any better or any worse, but it helps the show. So we appreciate that so much from you guys. And it doesn't make us love you any less or more. We love you no matter what. Thumbs up or not. We love you. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
When you want to be mean to the kids, that's when you say, like, I'll always love you, but I'm still disappointed in you.
There you go. Exactly. All right. So yeah, look at Ford is actually moving. I'm afraid to say this, moving somewhat nice. The little bit that it does is actually doing something. For the most part, we don't get a whole lot out of Ford, but again, this news is affecting automakers across the board. I'm not sure how Ford is involved, and how it affects them, but here they are.
Well, I mean, they've got plants here in Canada, so they do have plants elsewhere in the world, and their parts aren't all made in the U.S., right? So certainly they've got an impact from wherever they source parts from. And
someone
again, I can't remember if I mentioned it here.
Someone in chat said that 100% in the U.S. I'm like, I find that hard to believe, given how expensive it is to make anything here. I find it hard to believe that everything's U.S. made on Ford, but
they might be U.S. assembled, like it's
right. It's a very big difference.
What does "made in America" mean, right? So yes, the final assembly and a lot of the metal parts, for example, absolutely could be milled and made specifically in the U.S. But like the electronic components, the whole dashboard assembly, that frankly could be made in Canada or Mexico or China, for all we know, right? Like it's
Ford makes a small Bronco in Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough, right? The supply chain has become very global, especially with the open borders we've had across North America, Canada, Mexico, U.S. for decades now. So it's changing that as quickly as Trump is attempting to is just challenging. Creates lots of global challenges. So
yes. Bronco has seen a lot of success with the Jeep after it came back out. So the reason they took it out was because of the O.J. Simpson thing, right? That's why they stopped making that vehicle, because you couldn't say Bronco without thinking immediately about that case.
Him and his white Bronco.
Yeah. It's like
interesting. Was that the reason? I didn't know that.
I just assume it was. I haven't looked this up yet, but I assume it was because it was so magnifying what happened. It was like the first televised TV chase. Another guy kept saying a white Ford Bronco, and that's all you heard. So I'm sure in conversation,
it was this ridiculous slow motion chase on the LA freeway, and
yeah. So it was, can you imagine? Oh yeah, I just got a Ford Bronco. Oh, like the one from O.J. Simpson, like, so Yeah.
Free pair of driving gloves with every Bronco.
Exactly.
Right?
They might not fit, although they fit perfectly, but they might not fit.
Oh, yeah. Any youngsters out there, you have no idea what we're talking about. But anyways,
yeah, but
old enough to know. Go on, give us a like for that. Good cultural reference going back.
Incredible. All right, AMD. Ooh, look at this drop on AMD. Are we getting into messy territory here, guys? Yeah, Broncos. It's I don't see it as an everyday car, right? In the Jeep too. It depends. The Jeep Cherokee, it's an adventure car. It looks like an adventure car. Like, hey, you know, that's how I would see it. But everyday car could be tough. I test drove a Jeep Cherokee, and they're rough. They're like, you gotta really like that. They're really rough. So.
Yeah.
But it's a car for everyone. No, I'm not in any trades right now, so I'm not in anything at the moment. We had a one NVIDIA trade, so it's not a. I don't want to be one and done today. I can be, but I would like to take something else. The market is trading well. We'll see if there's other opportunities as NVIDIA comes back to the VWAP. I think it's going to be a good day here. So let's see what we get. So no positions. Cause you trade the 15. No, I don't do the 15 minute or the 30. The 5 for me. And then now I just start looking for any type of reversals or VWAP breakouts. I like those trades, like off the VWAP confirmation, right? Like for example, if NVIDIA comes back down here, loses the VWAP, I would like that for a short to head back towards the low of the day. So I look for those type of trades. I like trades around the VWAP. I feel very comfortable around the VWAP for some reason. That could be a great sticker for, yeah, I agree 100%. That could do well. Good buddy Dave, that could do very well. Here it is. It's NVIDIA.
I drove, I test drove a Jeep. I thought, oh, maybe when I was looking for a new car, I thought, oh, maybe I'll get a Jeep. And then I test drove one, and I'm like, I don't think I can do this every day. I'm too old for this.
It's not an everyday car, man. Weekend car, no problem, but everyday car, I don't know, man.
I realized I was already complaining that my car was too loud, and like you don't get a Jeep because it's got a quiet internal cabin.
Right.
Well, it's the wheels, and just it's not made to be airtight, right? And it doesn't have the insulation, the acoustic glass and air insulation and stuff. Like, it's just not how it's made. So
yeah. In chat, Andrew's asking you, how are you guys? Let him know you're doing excellent, nothing but great, the best ever. Make sure me and Peter are doing a good job. Oh man. AMD, AMD's drop came quick
down here.
Yeah,
I wasn't on for that ride here. I didn't expect such a drop, but I feel like AMD's now just gonna set a range here, because it's been to the top and bottom of it twice already this morning. So here's on the 5 minute. You got this very right to look at the bounce too, like right to the penny here on that 105.63, 107.62 is the high. We've been there twice already, right around this area. So yeah, we're kind of getting a little bit rangy here. So it's tough to see how it breaks out here. I tell you this though, if it comes to the VWAP and we get back down, if it can't get above the VWAP, it could become nice short opportunity. If we're gonna, I feel like after around 10:30, this is when you start getting the trends, right? Like you might get a little choppy sideways action, then closer to 10:30, stocks kind of decide, okay, this is what we're going to do, and you might see a drop. We saw that with NVIDIA a couple of times, AMD and Tesla as well. So we got to be patient, just kind of see where does the stock want to take these tickers today, and there could be some opportunities there. SPY's going higher into the green. What are the Qs doing? Qs also trying to move up higher. Surprised AMD dropped the way it did, to be honest, given the SPY's moving northeast here.
So interesting. I'm sad without a laptop. Oh man, we'll see you on Wednesday. Laptop Wednesday, so we'll see you there. For sure, for sure. Yeah, John. So we had to make the change. How long it's gonna last, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's permanent or not. We'll probably get more information over the weekend. Who knows? But yeah, they had to go into chat for live trading. They'll be on here at 10:30, answering some questions, going over their trades. Um, but yeah, they had to jump off the YouTube for a sec here. How permanent it's gonna be, we don't know. So, but yeah, hey, listen, I enjoy watching. Like I can see them, but I can't hear them. So I feel your pain. I enjoy watching them too, because me and Peter usually by now we're just hanging out, and just
Yep.
listening to them trade and just trading, just doing what we're doing right now for you guys here live. So yeah, I'm with you. It does change the way we go about things a little bit, but I always look at the cup half full. So happy to be here with you guys, and let's make the best of it. Um, Nvidia, let's see here, trying to get going. Tesla. How about MLGO? I know you guys were looking at that one. MLGO, man, it is just cranking. Just when you think it's done, boom, more volume. A million shares traded in this 1 minute candle right here, up to 1627. Let's go. Who's in this in chat? I didn't trade it, but who's doing some stuff here? This is looking very awesome. Um, Man, that is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. I'm in and out of MLGO. So you're out when you think it's gonna turn, and then back in when it's cranking. Yeah, no, Jeremy. I trust me. We're not offended. We get it, 100%. You know what it is too? Like you build relationships, right? So when you are seeing the same people over and over again, you build a relationship with the way they trade. We understand the value of that. This is why when me and Peter are doing the pre-market show, we want to be there as much times as we can, not miss. Be there every day. If I'm not there, Peter covers. We actually, me and Peter coordinate. We coordinate to make
Yep.
sure that, hey, if you're going here, and then we got to have that consistency. That's important because we're building this relationship on both ends. Like I love coming into chat in the morning, saying good morning to all you guys, CFC, all the names, Yama, Melanie. I mean, off the top of my head, so many of you guys. But I say good morning to all you guys as much as I can because we're building this relationship, and that's important. And some of you guys have built that with Brian and Andrew. You still have that in the chat room, but 100% get where you're coming from, 100%, and we don't take no offense to it at all. So yeah. MLGO 1654. It's getting a little spicy here though. As it's pulling back. What's the float on this one, by the way? I don't have it handy. Let's take a look here. MLGO. Where's my trading terminal? Here we go.
You've lost it.
Yeah, I had so many other stuff open. 9.7. 9.7. So it's low. Careful. Hard to borrow. Can't short this thing. An SSR with interactive brokers. Be very, very careful with this bad boy.
35%. It's up. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And this is like their second day they go on a run, right? They were on a run. Yeah, they took off. Actually, maybe
Monday,
third.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday. Yeah, Monday they had a big run.
Yeah, so when you see a low flow kind of hold their pop like this, that means that they're really on to something. It's not a 1 day wham bam thank you. So 1 day, a couple of days, let's go. It's a marathon. So that's good. That's a good sign for the stock. Yeah, they've been running, man. They've been really running here. So that is pretty awesome. Choppy territory. Okay, so look, AMD did it, right? We hit the VWAP. We're coming back down here. Do we want this short? I think I'm going to try short on AMD. I like this here. The risk reward could be not so great, but we can go towards the low of the day and hopefully break lower. Yeah, let's... I'm on the fence, man. I don't know. I'm on the fence. But what's the SPY doing? SPY's pushing higher. That doesn't make me feel good. I see the SPY breaking new highs. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't like going against the SPY. It just feels it makes it feel a little bit uneasy, especially when when these stocks love to follow what the overall market is doing. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna pass on this trade. I was almost ready to hit the button, but I'm gonna pass on it.
Ooh. Carlos talked himself out of it.
Yeah, it's, AMD. We're looking at AMD.
MLGO still going up 45% now.
Wait, I thought it was just dropping. It took my eye off of it, and now it's
Yeah.
oh my.
Yeah. Just
This is getting parabolic now. This is getting out of control.
it's getting pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, this is friends. If you're new to trading and you have no experience trading these things, just be careful. If you made money on it today, you just got lucky. But if you don't have a plan, this will burn you more often than not. So just be careful. If you made money on it, great. But building consistency on these tickers without a plan, it's tough. It's really tough. So just be mindful out there.
Very interesting. What was the news on this thing?
I don't even remember. I know either you mentioned it or I mentioned it, but I don't remember what they had.
It did come
I know
up.
there was semiconductor news at the beginning of the week. Did this affect them?
I'll go out of China. I don't know. Secondary offering last week. Because the volume went from 4 million to 300 million shares. That's that's a big volume change.
Yeah. I'm looking at AMD still. It's interesting. SPY's back in the red. Tesla coming down as well. I feel like we might see this. I think I like this play. I mentioned right. It comes back down. Can't get above the VWAP back down. You at least want to get to the low of the day here, but our entry's not great.
You're watching what, AMD?
I'm watching AMD again. Yeah, now the SPY
Yeah.
kind of turned around. I'm watching it again. Yeah, let's do it. Short on AMD here. We're gonna give it a little bit of room. We want to see it, and we don't want to see this go back towards the VWAP, obviously. But yeah, let's see where it goes. Short AMD, and we just need the SPY's help to hopefully get us down to the low of the day. Hangover day today? I don't know, man. Maybe. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. My mom broke all the cups. I probably missed what this comment was about. She is a wild woman. We definitely missed what that comment was about.
What the heck was that?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to scroll up and see what's this about and what's taking place here. Still in Nike, hoping to continue for the run for the day after a serious selling the last few days. You're in a swing trade, or you got in today? Oh yeah, a nice bounce on Nike. Yeah, they're rebounding from the sell-off they had. This was earnings, right? They had earnings late in earnings season, and I remember we were live for this one, and yeah, they dropped here, and you can see they're kind of rebounding a little bit. Earnings, yeah, this was earnings a couple of, not today. This was earnings a couple of days ago.
No.
Yeah.
Just last week sometime.
Back to my question, Carlos. What is your R&R in AMD? The trade right now? Yeah. So here's my risk, right? What I'm risking is I don't want it to go above this VWAP, right? I'll let it come close and touch a little bit, but I don't want to see it above this VWAP, right? So we're risking about what 40 cents, 50 cents.
You're
we want it.
showing us the daily?
I'm writing on the 1 minute. So right here. I gotta remind myself to switch the screens here. So here's the VWAP, right? So here's my stop. It's about 40 cents, 50 cents stop, right? So we want to get at least $1. Now, the way I partial, I might not get a whole dollar out of this, but we want to see, first thing, initial thing we want to see is we want to see the breakdown from the low of the day. We got to break this level and hopefully get a flush down. If I can get, to this level, I probably would take a partial just to put some money in the account and not let this come back to break even if it wants to find support there, because it can clearly find support here, but that's the risk. I'm risking this. I'm hoping to get $1 if I can, but if not, then we'll take whatever the market can give us. We are in a choppy territory right now. This time frame is not the best for breakouts, so we're banking on the weakness we're seeing here below the VWAP to continue the gap down to hopefully flush a little bit more. And again, just overall price action, see, looks good for a possible short, but again, we'll have to see how it plays out. Hopefully that makes sense. But again, we have tons of examples in our education center, man, and also in those videos you saw there that I showed you in Trading Terminal Academy. You're gonna find a lot of great information on that. Okay, so make sure you check that out. All right, let's get back to 5 minute at the bottom here on AMD. Here we go. Question for you, Peter. On Tesla at 1010, is your mountain pass? Let's see.
It's early. First, I can say for sure it's early for a mountain pass. Second, no, also wouldn't qualify for a couple of reasons. The 50 moving average at 1010 was below the VWAP, which means it hasn't moved aggressively enough to the top side, and there was no exhausting volume when it hit the high of day. So I wouldn't have confidence in a drop lower. Again, doesn't mean it won't potentially move, but no, it wouldn't have qualified for me as a mountain pass for those reasons. You got your raincoat packed, eh? By the way, I hope, for Vancouver. Oh, we lost Carlos. It's I was looking at the weather. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little rainy out there, but it's Vancouver, so that's what you expect. Sunday's supposed to be nice. Nice sunny day. Sunny day on Sunday. I guess that makes sense. But it's Vancouver, which means it'll rain and then stop, and then maybe rain again and then stop again. It's I was looking, it's like 90 to 95% chance of rain today, tomorrow, Saturday. Oh well, if it rains, it rains. So I tell my wife, you don't melt, and then she reminds me, I've got black person hair, which in her mind means she does believe she melts.
What? Oh man, that's funny. I think all women are like that, Peter. Mine's the same way. Rain is like their enemy, especially if they pay to get their hair done. Ooh, forget about it. It's like, yeah.
She's like, even if it's not raining, but it's very humid, like it's just rained or it's about to rain, she's like, it gets all frizzy, and again, I have no idea. All I know is that whenever it came to doing the kids' hair, because of course, with my wife being black, and they had very thick, kinky hair. That, anyways, I just know I was not qualified to brush their hair. If for whatever reason my wife wasn't around and they needed their hair brushed, they would only very grudgingly ask me to do it. And generally, we'd get about 3 brush strokes in, and they're like, "Never mind, Daddy, it's fine. I'll just put it in a ponytail." and I'd be fired. I didn't try to get myself fired.
Yeah.
I just got fired. So, all right. That's the way it was. So. Callum, yes. Yeah, that was a February event thing, and completed my 2,000 put. That being said, my wife got me going to her workouts with her. Tesla just took a big push higher here.
Yeah, so
Um,
did Nvidia. I'm sorry, AMD. So I might be bailing out of it
yeah.
if it goes above the VWAP. Let's see.
So, anyways, Tuesday I went to her trainer, and one of the things on his little training schedule for me was to do a bunch of push-ups. And I'm like, I got this. I just did 2,000 of them. Like, I'm a push-up pro, and I pump out like 30 push-ups, and he's like, you're doing them wrong. What do you mean I'm doing them wrong?
Oh,
He just says, move your arms like this and adjust, move my elbows in closer to my body just a little bit. And I'm like, that is freaking hard. He's like, well, that's because you were doing it wrong. He said, what you were doing is technically harder, but it's not the muscles you normally want to exercise doing push-ups. So, you were all shoulder. And I'm like, oh, geez, okay, well, so I've got strong shoulders now, but not, I wasn't getting lats or biceps or anything. So, anyways,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I guess you're out of AMD. It looks like it
Oh,
just
yeah,
popped
absolutely.
higher.
Yeah. Just popped higher.
Yeah,
Spies pushing higher. Look at Tesla go. My goodness.
yeah, Tesla's still running. Is Andrew
Oh,
still in
wow.
that? Doesn't look like it. No,
No,
he
I
was.
mean, he was in TSLL, I think. He doesn't have it up. He
I
has
think he's
Tesla up, but
all
he's not
out.
in Tesla. Yeah,
He'd posted his P&L. He was up like 70 grand or something on the morning.
yeah, yeah,
So 63,000 on the morning. So I assume that means he's all out.
yeah, yeah. Man, what a
It's
move.
not bad to make
What a move. What a
63,000 in
move.
less than an hour.
No, no, man. It's a good
When you trade the size
Carlos!
Andrew does.
Hey, what's
Hey,
happening?
Monsieur, how are you?
Doing good today, man. How are you?
Send it to the chat room, please, too.
Yep, yep. Gonna turn it on right now. Here it is. Just make sure Brian's sound is good. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
I have an early report.
Good.
Hey, Brian.
Hey,
Andrew, we have an early report that apparently those sofas are very comfortable.
Oh, it's
there you go.
amazing. You gotta come and chill on it. It's amazing.
Well,
The
it'll happen.
sofas is amazing, yeah. So
Keep
these
keep the
sofas are
party going
actually,
late. You got to keep the party going
yeah,
late tomorrow, tonight, because I'll be there tonight.
yeah.
So that's my
Last
plan.
night, no. Let's not go. Last night was also some people were here, like Mike and his wife was here, and then a bunch of other people. Some of the VIP members were here, and they didn't leave. I have to kick them out, beg them at midnight. Can you please get the hell out of my apartment? I want to sleep. I slept like
Hey,
4 hours. Um, but they're actually pretty comfortable.
all right. Well, I only get in by the time I get from the airport and everything. It'll be at least 10 o'clock. So keep the party going until at least 11 if you can. Then I can come over and see you for an
No, you're
hour.
not coming here. No, don't come here. Go directly to your hotel. No.
Peter's
I'm being
Peter
I want
uninvited.
to
Peter's
sit tonight. No, you're
Peter's
not
Publicly
invited.
dying
I want
to
to sit.
uninvited. All right, fine. Be that way.
Don't come late.
Peter's just dying to try out those couches.
Yeah. I didn't want to miss the action, but all right, fine.
All right, so I had a pretty good day. I don't know, Peter, why you're not trading at the open. You're missing out in life, man.
I
Trading
did.
was
I traded
amazing.
AMD.
He did.
Short.
You trade AMD today. You
Yeah.
did
Very
well.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
so
Peter, we shorted AMD. All right.
my trading was amazing. I don't know what YouTube guys, you guys, I traded NVIDIA. I got a long Tesla as well, but I got out of Tesla, but through TSLL. But Tesla is rallying, so I went long at 1070, and now it's trading at 1140. But that was unfortunate. But NVIDIA was super nice. I cut a very great trade on NVIDIA. When exactly Carlos covered his short, I went long, boom, for a very profitable trade. So, and I don't plan to take any other trade. I'm 63,313 and 18 cents before commission. And answering any question. Um, does anyone have any question?
Yeah.
No
What
question.
happened to me? Brian, I'm here. I'm here. AMD. I traded AMD at the open. On the short day. I traded the options, the 106s. Trade sold buy some puts.
There are a couple of questions that came to the chat room. Sean is asking, Andrew, can you answer why you don't want to trade? Market is still moving. The answer to that is you need to know when to stop trading. It's very important. Like, for example, when you're partying or when you're drinking, you need to know when to stop. You know, when you go to a party or a gathering or a, reception, you have the first drink, you have fun. You have the second drink, you get a good buzz. But a social drinker knows when to stop. An alcoholic doesn't know when to stop. For me, I had a really good day, and I had three trades. Two of them lost, one of them really good win. As a matter of fact, two or three, I think. Yeah, three. So I don't need to trade anymore. Even though the market is moving, I don't need to because I'm profitable. I'm getting to the time of the day that I don't have much of a trade book. I already missed the moves on Tesla. As you see, it's too extended. So even though it's moving, even though it's volatile, I shouldn't be in there. And the moment that you actually realize this fact that you do not need to be in every single move, then you are a trader. But if you're constantly having this FOMO, I have to be there, I have to be there. Oh, look at that! Then that's the moment that you want. The reason that we do live streaming and the reason that we try to stay here, show you all the losses and all the wins, is to see how the professional traders are thinking and working and what's their thought process. You need to stop. You need to learn how to stop in life, in drugs, in party, in alcohol, in anger, in crazy, in everything. You need to know when to stop. Otherwise, gambling, because this is a very dangerous activity, can be as bad as like alcohol addiction or gambling addiction or something like that. The commission, another question was the commission. The commission, usually for me, it's between 2 to 5% of my P&L is the commission, usually. If the commission that you're paying is more than 5%, some days close to 10%, then you're definitely over trading. You should not have. That's why in the funded program account that we have, we put the commission same as interactive brokers, half a cent per share, because you don't want to just click on that. It's just not realistic. You will have to consider the effect of commission in your trading. So for me, probably I'm gonna today, prop from the $60,000. Probably I'm gonna pay about $1,000 in commission or something like that. I have to check at the end. So something around that, which is pretty awesome. You go to a restaurant, you tip 20%, 22%. The commission is a tip to your broker. I'm in the tiered version, Drew.
35, 36. Yeah, look at NVIDIA is going to go green on the day by the looks of it.
So Game Boy is asking, why do you rationalize partialing out of winners but not losers? So when the trade moves into your direction, you have to take the profit and book the profit. And this is very important, to take the partial first at the first R, and then bring your stop loss back to the break even. You don't want to lose the money that you already made at the beginning, profitable. So you don't want to go negative on a trade that was already been profitable. The losers, if the trade doesn't go into your direction and hits your targets, or their plan changes, then it doesn't make sense to partial. You have to get out completely. What's the point of partialing out of that losing position? Do we have to pay tax on commission as well, Taylor? Commission is a cost to you, so you always pay in the net income that you have. Like, for example, if you make $100,000 and you have $200,000 cost, you pay only on $20,000 cost. Tax is only the net profit. Always has been the net income tax. That's for corporations and stuff. So Khalid is asking, does the Elite annual membership include bootcamp? No, it's the other way around. If you join the bootcamp, you get access to 1 year membership, Khalid. So Daniel is asking, okay, what trade did you take? So I'm going to actually explain to you what trade I took. So I took one trade TSLL, and I'm going to actually show it to you on my chart. So I went, Tesla opened very strong, so I went long here at 1070. I put my stop loss below the VWAP, and I partialed in the first R, And I don't know if, yeah, you can see my screen. So I partial in the first R. So that was my first partial, about 20% out. And then it came down, and again here when it came down, I didn't wait for the first initial stop loss. I got out completely at the break-even point. And that was unfortunate because, as you see here, it started running up. But that's okay. I'll take that. I'll rather to have 20% profit and get out at the break even rather than this one goes completely against me, because this could be completely the other way around. So this was very unfortunate. Another trade was NVDA. Let's talk about NVDA. So NVIDIA, I did the same trade at the open. So I did a 1 minute open range breakup. I put the stop loss below the VWAP, and it did pop up almost even more than 1 my R, but I didn't partial. So it came down past my break entry point, and then I got a stop that at the original stop loss that I wanted to do. And then as you see, it dropped significantly. This could go down forever. But I was lucky that it came back up. By looking at the 5-minute chart, I realized that it becomes like a bullish engulfing. So I went long. I added more 2 times. And, we get this pop toward these important levels that we had. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take a screenshot of this trade and I'm going to put it on my presentation, because on my presentation on Sunday, I'm going to talk about this 2 time frame decision making. And it's very difficult to actually explain these ones in the book, but in a presentation, you have more capability to actually to explain to that. And again, here, after the second trade, so this is my second trade. So in the second trade on NVIDIA, when you add here, here, and here, your average comes up. And then my average was somewhere around here. And as you see here, I kind of got stopped out at my break-even point.
Right. Well, the SPY has rallied up to R3. We've gone green on the day on all the indexes. So pretty decent day.
Craig is asking, how do you
NVIDIA
work
got
out your
right
first
back.
R? So the first R is the same amount of your stop loss. So for example, if I go NVIDIA long at 112 and I'm going to give 40 cents in there, I try to at least partial at the minimum 40 cents, because you need to your first partial bid at your first R. Because if you give 40 cents stop loss and you start partialing at 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, then the risk to reward calculation for you always is against you. Sometimes in this case, in the part of NVIDIA case, I didn't partial because I really wanted that daily level that we had. So I really, really wanted to get to that daily level. That's why I was waiting. And in this particular case, it didn't work out for me. But if you have a very important level like S4 or 3, something like that, very close by, previous day close, look at the NVIDIA hit the previous day close down to the penny. Look at that, down to the penny, and then bounce back. So it's not a bad idea to wait for near those levels, to wait for that. So my partials are 10%. So John is asking on YouTube, asking a very good question, and I like the question. The question is, you jumped in before the engulfing form. Sometimes, based on looking at the order flow and based on the time and sales, I anticipate a bullish engulfing. Yes. So it's a very good question. It's a very smart question. It's a question that comes from someone who has experience identifying this pattern. So the time that I got in, the bullish engulfing hasn't been formed yet. But what I saw that NVIDIA at the open was strong. That's why I took the first long on it. And I saw that this candlestick that was red, it was already going over half of this candlestick was going up. And I anticipated a bullish engulfing forming. So that's why my first trade was in there. That's why I added more after that, after we climbed the VWAP. So sometimes you can anticipate a pattern before it actually forms. And then as that pattern forms and you get the confirmation, you can add more on it significantly. And that's what I did. Most of my big position came actually after that. But the anticipation is good. Sometimes it can give you a little bit of a better entry, but it comes with experience, because you can anticipate anything. I can anticipate an all-time high right now and take some. But anticipation has to be very reasonable. That comes with experience. Does it make sense for you, John? That's a very good question. That and I'm glad that you asked, because when I went there, this is not quite a bullish engulfing because it hasn't formed yet. The second ad was second entry was actually a bullish engulfing. So sometimes I do anticipate, and it's my style. I don't know if it really works for everybody or not. Sometimes I anticipate the breakouts, the opening range breakouts or bullish engulfings, and has been working for me well. But if you really want to stick to a certain rule, so in that case, for you would have been probably just get the long after that bullish engulfing actually has formed. So somewhere around this 1175. So essentially, my second trade would have been nice. So around this area, if you really wanted to wait, you probably would have entered around here when that formation formed. Yeah, Piotr is asking about the speed of order flow. For me, it does. So the speed, especially for the breakouts, the order flow, like really, the faster the speed is better, because usually at the breakouts, breakouts is the moment that one party between buyers and sellers loses, and everybody's emptying their magazine, and the first person who goes out of their ammunition, the other one boom blew up on that. So yeah, you really want to at the breakouts, you need the speed goes fast. If you are at the breakout of the high after the end of the day and the volume is really going down and the order flow goes down, that's usually not a good sign. You really want for the breakouts the order flow goes up significantly. Brian,
Well,
which
we're in
bookmap
kind of a.
membership?
What's that?
Somebody's asking what bookmap membership do you have?
Global. I think it's the global one.
So
I think it
Adrian P
costs
is
about
asking. Sorry.
120 a month. Yeah, go ahead.
So Adrian is asking, on the second trade, when you added, why didn't you wait for the confirmation? Because I already had a good average down there, and then when you're adding, you're bringing your average, and I was watching my average. So again, look at my chart. So when this is my first entry and this is my second entry, so my average comes at the VWAP, and now that I'm gonna get the average, I'm gonna bring my average just below this moving average. So because you can control your average, I can watch my entry, so I can bring my average just around here. So I still give it some room to go down and go back up. So again, on the ads, you don't need to be a perfect entry, because now you're switching the you're controlling your entry. These are good questions. Yes. So Roger
Tesla's
is
got
asking
some big
about.
orders.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's going up more, I think. Yeah, I think Tesla's going up to R6 maybe. Go ahead.
Yes, I think that was a great day.
Yeah,
BR.
I think you want to see multiple time frames. It's asking why not just stay on the 5 minute instead of the 1 minute. I think the 1 minute gives you a better sort of indication of where things are going, and maybe it gives you a better possibility for a better entry. But yeah, it's I mean, you've got to focus. I mean, obviously making traded decisions on the 5, but the 1 can kind of help you read the price action. Personally, I actually just use the 2 minute, and I just look at various levels.
MLGO 62%. Yeah, I got halted at 19. Yeah, MLG was crazy.
Is that the low float du jour?
Yeah, it's micro algo.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one before. It's funny how these things you see them pop every once in a while. You go, yeah, I remember this one. They were trading this one before. Oh, Lulu's been breaking out today. Did Lulu have earnings yesterday or today?
Yeah, people are mentioning Lulu. There's
Uh,
something going on with Lulu. Lululemon.
I think Lulu is reporting after the close today.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out slowly. 10 minutes. Eamon is gonna come. Brian, would you mind to stay a little bit longer? I got today is a
Yeah,
big day for me. So we're gonna go to the hotel. We're gonna make the staging. Everybody's coming. Members are coming tonight, and yeah, super excited to have everybody. And
yeah, we're doing breakfast at 10, right? Breakfast at
tomorrow,
10?
not tomorrow, tomorrow,
Not today, but
not
tomorrow.
today. Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome to come to the Brian. I'm gonna go to the Paradox Hotel at 10 because we're gonna set up the stage. If you want, welcome. You spend the time. Mike is here. We're gonna spend time together. We can get some food and stuff as well if you want. You're welcome, but you don't have to, and there's no special
Sure.
plan. But if you want to hang around, there's a lot of people
Yeah.
around here. All right, guys, come.
All right.
Last call.
Sounds
Last call. Vancouver 1, Vancouver 2. Anybody? Anybody? TEDx conference party, live ski,
good.
anything?
All sorts of stuff. Man, there's so much
Oh,
stuff going on.
yeah. All right, guys. So yeah, YouTube guys, thank you so much for coming. Um, yeah, thanks, guys, and
Yeah.
guys, YouTube guys. We trade live, screen sharing, and live and everything in on the chat room. So if you want, you can just join us into the chat room. I won't be trading live on YouTube. No, not for the first 1 hour. Um, Perfect. Yeah, I'll see you guys. And
Okay.
Monday, tomorrow, I'm gonna trade
Cheers.
from either office or home. But Monday, we're gonna trade from the hotel. Everybody together. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. Should be cool. We've done that. We did that last year. It was great.
Yeah.
Hopefully do it again. You're doing it again. All right. Yeah, I don't know what the conditions are like up on Whistler right now. Last week they would have been really good. This week it's all of a sudden gotten quite warm. We're a lot warmer, and it's been raining a lot. So hopefully the weather's still good. Yeah, mid lift is like 1 degree temp, and at the bottom it's 6 centigrade. At the top it's -2, so there's still snow. Still snow. Got more snow up there. Yeah, it's really warmed up over the last couple of days here. Yeah, give us a like, everybody, if you haven't done so already. Always appreciate a like. Look at that. Tesla breaking to a new high. There's this 290 level has some big orders here. Nvidia is trying to go green on the day. Not sure. We often do have on a lifetime membership. With a lifetime membership, I don't think we have actually a lifetime membership. It's a yearly one. When we first started the Bearable Traders, it was we did do lifetime memberships, which turns out to be a real deal for some people who got those. But you can't sustain a business. It's like if you're a gym and you just sell someone a lifetime membership for whatever it is, $500. It doesn't pay for it doesn't pay the bills 2 years later, and it's quite expensive to operate the chat room and with all the people that um, have to support. The SPY and Qs are making all time or daily highs here. We're just big rally day today. Yeah, there went right through 290 on Tesla. Now, if anyone's still long that, should be 4,000 for lifetime. I don't know. Really? Let's check here. Why, yeah, well, like I said, fundamentals is that's the F word when it comes to um, stocks. You can't be too and trading stocks, especially like a stock like Tesla, which is a total meme stock. Um, it's just got a real strong retail following, and retail traders don't typically care about fundamentals. Um, so you can be right, but can you stay solvent while you're right? And Tesla, by all measures, is way overpriced if you look at it from sort of fundamental metrics like PE. It's like 130, I think, right now, 133 price to earnings. So I think the average is about 18. So it's you've got to if you're going to have a really high PE, you've got to have a lot of there's a lot of expectation for earnings growth in that to sustain that high PE. And fundamentally, I don't see where the earnings growth is going to come from. I mean, when you look at we'll see in the beginning of April, they release their sales numbers. I mean, their sales in Europe are down 40%, while the EV market is up 26%. That kind of tells you that that Tesla is not selling cars in Europe, or at least not at the same rate that the market is going up. And I mean, I just think of the stuff that they say are catalysts like robotaxi, and I mean, Waymo and some of these other companies are doing that too. So I think Tesla's kind of late to the game on that one. And this whole robot thing, I mean, if you look at Boston Dynamics, they've got some amazing robots already. There's already a lot of people making different robots, so I'm not really sure if Tesla's going to have any kind of competitive advantage that way. And what's the other thing? Well, I guess SpaceX. I don't know what they're going to do with SpaceX, still private. So honestly, I just don't see how I don't see why Tesla's trading at a high multiple. But like I said, you can be the market. What do they say? The market can be wrong longer than you're solvent. So you just so that's why it's really important. I mean, sure, you can build any kind of a case, like a bear case or bull case for a stock, but you really have to also have to look at the technical aspect of the price action. And again, these meme stocks they have a life of their own, basically. Yeah, we've had a nice comeback on a lot of stocks here. Apple's breaking out. Amazon's breaking out. Meta's at high of day. So Microsoft's trying to get to high of day. Alphabet's struggling. All right, guys, I am going to grab some breakfast. So PLTR was quite red during the day, or at the open anyway, and then it sold off, came back up. Again, difficult stock to trade. Reddit's down quite a bit still below yesterday's low. And of course, AMD is continuing to struggle a bit with that double downgrade, I guess it had this morning. So, and Nvidia's back flat on the day. So, anyway, guys, just try to keep it green. And we're getting a bit of a pullback now on Tesla. I guess they were listening to my critique. All right. The next couple of days, the weekend's going to be action packed. So hopefully some of you out there are coming, and we'll be trading live on Monday morning with all of the people that are here. So should be fun. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you all later.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Brian. All right, Thor is in chat. I can't find Eamon. Eamon was going to join us here for YouTube. Can't find him. Hopefully he's okay. I'm not sure if he's traveling or not. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to crash Thor's party. So we're going to just listen into Thor in the chat. So over on YouTube, stay tuned for that. Give me a sec while I transition over, and then my good buddy Thor is going to take over here. All right, so I'm just going to bring in the volume. We'll bring in the screens, and we'll crash Thor's party today. And if Eamon comes up, we can always switch to him. But give me a second while I switch everything over. We'll give you guys the audio. We'll give you guys the screen he's sharing. All that good stuff. So let's get the audio first. Here we go. Audio from chat.
So anyway, okay.
All right, there he is.
The market is.
So while that's working, let me get you guys the video. 1 second.
You know, this is the thing. You know, I kind of talked a little bit about this. I think it was in.
Okay, hold on. I think I got it here. Gotta do one more thing, and we'll switch over to you guys, and then we'll keep Thor running. He's in the chat. He runs until about 11. I'm sorry, excuse me, 12. So we'll listen to him. We'll look at his screens. He's got up and running here, and then we'll also yeah, we'll be in chat answering any questions. So here is Thor.
If you survived 2019, you probably became, you know, you're probably like doing pretty good, or at least like slightly aware of day trading. You know what I mean? Like that whole period, you know, when this current administration, you know, we leapfrogged. This current administration was in the previous. It was, I mean, it was the wild, wild west, and we're getting a little bit of that. You know, the choppiness of, you know, the sudden fast grabs combined with long-term choppiness is what you're going to be expecting, right? So patience, right, is going to be of absolute necessity, because what happens basically is the market maker consolidates and waits, and then basically when the news hits, they just make really quick, decisive moves. Then they stop. Then they come all the way back up and do that. So, yeah, today I had a decent one. So let me show you what I did today. So today on AMD, we had a wider range and a lower range. So we didn't, I would have preferred to open a little higher, but since we ran away from the price pretty good and got some distance, I was able to watch it come in and grab and holding S4. So the reason why I'm using S4 with, not without, is because we are, you know, quite obviously outside of the previous day's range. So we're going to use that pre-market gap data to help give us some information. So when AMD came down to S4, my S4, which is right here, this green line is my S4. It came down here, and you know, this is the other S4, but my S4 that I calculate on TOS is right here. So it's sold. You can see it's sold down, and it hit there, bounced, and came back. So I went long there, threw my stop right above the low, and hit a 4-to-1 target on it. I actually still think we're doing, you know, we're going to do okay on this one. But hit the target, so I was happy with that. And then when this started to rally up through here, I kind of caught an eye on Qs, and Qs had sold down near S3. Now it's a lower range, so I actually would have preferred Qs to sell off a little bit more. You could tell pretty convincingly that, you know, they bought off of this level, and they bought off quite well. And since I was still in a buying range, you know, because really for me the cams really delineate range, right? I'm in an area of discount, and it's a wide range day. Exactly, Dalton. I went ahead and decided to buy it, but you'll see kind of the signal here. So we came down here and we started to rally, and then we got we got indecision, and then look how the volume dropped on the pullback. See how the volume came down? So this looked like a pretty solid ABCD going on here. So I kind of had my area of discount in ABCD, and I went long, and I went ahead and threw my stop, actually, since we tested and came off of it. I went ahead and threw my stop below this test candle. So let me get a little closer so you can see that. You can see we offered discount and bought. If we go through that wick right there, I'm wrong anyway. So once I went long here, I threw it below. Actually, I threw it there with a little bit of space just in case, but was unnecessary and hit a really lovely target. So went 2 for 2 today. And then now we're all the way, it is QQQ, and a short at R3 is certainly a valid play. So if you had the wherewithal to wait for a little while, I think Qs will likely sell off most of the rest of the day. It is a wide range day and it's a lower range day. So I think selling from here all the way back down to the bid would be perfectly good as well. So I actually find that yesterday, for instance, yesterday I can think of 3 or 4 tickers that all had really solid plays, cam plays. 2 days before that, I know Apple had a really solid one, and so did Nvidia. The cam plays are out there. Maybe like not as many as often. You know what I mean? Like we're in a period right now where you have to wait maybe 15 minutes longer than you used to, and sometimes it takes 1 or 2 bounces where it used to just hit it in one. So you just got to kind of be patient, and I don't know. Good day for me. Bad week overall. No. So I actually needed this day quite a bit because I'm traveling tomorrow, by the way. So I'm gonna try and like find someone to hang out with y'all tomorrow, but I won't be in chat tomorrow or Tuesday because I'll be traveling. T Chad, would you mind just asking them in here? If you send it to my email, I'm not going to reply. It would take me whatever your email question is, it would probably take me like an hour to compose the answer with screenshots and notations and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen. Ask the room in here. I'm notoriously horrible at responding to emails. So I think if you have a question, that I'm here right now. Like, so you feel free if if there's something you want to look at or talk about, I'll gladly check it out in here. So, but yeah, I will be at the airport, I think around noon, Raph. I'll be ready for some lunch because it'll be like some almost dinner for me, right? When it's noon there, what time? When it's noon there, it's like 4 here. Yeah, we can do that, Raph. Absolutely. You want to split an Uber? Okay. Hold on. Send me a message through the group chat. And we'll stay in communication. That way you can message me and we can figure out where to meet up. Wow, sweet. Now I got a ride. Now I got someone to ride with me. That's fun. That's exciting. D-Riss, that sounds awesome. Can you remind me of this next week? I've got more going on in my life right now than you could than I could really describe. With Vancouver coming, and then a presentation when I get right back, I don't have the mental capacity to go through. But if you're interested, I very much want all of my rules and stuff in place. So I'll set up a meeting with you and my developer who helped me write the code for TOS. So, and then I can just give you a full copy of TOS's source code that I'm using, so which will give you the logic for the most part already, right? So because we're calculating time frames and stuff in there as well. So, and if you can turn it into a script, I would love to share it and let it and make it available for everyone with it. So. I would love to have it more available, and then once we get it up and running, I can put it out there for everyone. Cool. I may be a project for the group. You become very popular in the group very quickly, sharing cool coding. People love that stuff. I think the books are looking a little bearish. Let's look at let's see what the NQ is doing right now. So we haven't quite made it all the way to, well, you feel free to go anywhere you want. We didn't make it all the way to R3, but we did run the majority of the book we had available. So you can see here, like as we were rallying this morning, we got all the way up to our larger orders, but we haven't satisfied those hits yet. So if we start to sell here, it'll likely be a fade back to the buyer that we bought off of. Can anyone guess where the buyer would be if we started to fade here? What do you think? Mm-hmm. Very nice. Right in here, right? You can see where they were and they went through them, but you can see, you'll find that if they don't have enough buy volume to get through these sellers here, this is where they're going to go. They'll go right back to here. Because this is where they found their big buying. If they lose that, they got to go back to here where they haven't been yet. Right? But because right now, you know, it would seem that they're working to fulfill sellers right now. So when you have a bearish market, which I don't know if Jared's with me on this one, but you know, I'm not really a long-term person, but I see this market currently as being bearish. I'm not saying it will stay that way, and we could certainly change our attitude and recover any day. You know what I mean? But right now, the way the volume reads, the way we're sitting on the daily chart under the 200 SMA on SPY, and the current market sentiment in general, right? Like just what I'm aware of in the market and what people are thinking. Thank you, Jared. I actually see this market as being fairly bearish, right? So the real difference between a bullish market and a bearish market is order fulfillment, right? Objective. See, in a bearish market, people want to buy low. In a bullish market, people want to buy low. In a bearish market, people want to sell high, right? So all of your limit orders are going to lag behind as we drop. So the market maker has to go find buyers and then come up and fill the limits. They have to go down and find buyers and come up and fill the limits in a bearish market. In a bullish market, it's the opposite, right? The buyers want to buy low. So they're going to come down and buy off of that and come up, fill sellers, come down, get sellers, come down, get sellers, right? It's their job to lift in a bullish market. In this one, they're actually running down to fill institutional bids that have been sitting very, very low for a very, very long time, right? So it's pretty, you know, this is a, you know, we're in a weird spot here. We've got a market that is absolutely inundated with tech, right? Like our SPY and our Q, just about everything that makes up the top 10 holdings of that is all tech, and all tech is getting downgraded. I think didn't NVIDIA get turned into a hold or a sell or something like that? I think AMD got downgraded into a sell or something like that. I mean, like if we're downgrading tech tickers, that is not good, because our SPY and our market is a tech market, right? Like our market, like if you actually go through and math out where all the shares are, we're tech heavy as a market. We're not a utility market. We're not a durable good market. We're not an agriculture market. Those things trade inside of our tech market. So if tech is, if tech is hurting, the market is hurting, and tech is hurting, right? So we need either new tech, right? So, or something that makes people excited or ready to buy tech again. And that's why the tariff stuff has been so particularly hard on this market. Many investors Some investors don't understand, I think, the administration's concept on how to utilize the tariffs. But I also say that as I think others do understand, and they just completely disagree with it. You know what I mean? So, but either one of those, neither of them are going. If you know what the tariffs are planning to do, then you know there's going to be a lot of market instability. If you don't like the tariff idea, then you know there's going to be a lot of market instability, right? So what do we all know? We all know there's a lot of market instability, right? Like and the market doesn't like uncertainty. You know what I mean? And right now, tech, tariffs, all that stuff, they just got no idea. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. The market just goes, No, I would. Yeah, Michelangelo. Yeah, I am often a very inspirational speaker. But it's definitely not my job to try and scare you. But it is my job to be insanely real with you, because I would rather make sure you don't lose money, right, than just manipulating you into spending it. Here at Variable Traders. You know what I mean? Like I want to be real with you at all times. Like, but this is a market where there is plenty of opportunity for money. I bought the low today because it was a wide range day, ran it across the top. You could sell the top probably now and run the range back across the bottom, right? You're just going to have to be very, very aware of range. Make sure you're paying attention to where our big seller was yesterday and our big buyer, and try and buy and sell really close to them so you can get that movement across. The good news is, and this is something I do want to say, keep this in mind. The good news is ATRs are up, right? So what do I mean by that? Average trading ranges, right? Almost every ticker right now, their average trading ranges day after day is expanding, right? Average trading range means easier hits, right? But it also means you don't need as tight of a stop, right? So you can actually run a little looser and still be okay with holding, because these stocks are just generically moving faster. So there is a lot of potential, but it's going to be a potential that's a little harder to mine. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like we can certainly get to it, but we're gonna have to be our best versions of ourselves in order to make it happen. And unfortunately, that's just what we got to kind of keep in mind there. But we're losing some averages now. Man, I am excited for Vancouver. Hey, is anybody here going to Vancouver? Are we ready? Are we ready to do some group trades? You ready to trade together? Let's try and crash the Paradox's hotel internet. You're going to Portugal? All right. It sounds better. Don't tell anyone. Portugal actually sounds really awesome, man. I would love to go to Spain. I kind of live in like Portugal, actually. No, I'm just kidding. Because we're like St. Augustine. That's why we're so Spain here. Oh, thank you, Harvey. I think you posted this earlier. Thank you for reposting. Thor, I had questions for you yesterday. The first one I asked you, you answered, but my PC crashed, so I never got to hear it. The second question I never got to ask. So we only get one a week, Harvey, and if you didn't hear the answer, I'm so sorry. No, I'm just kidding. It would be really funny if you recorded it, and then you were just baiting me in to see if I'd give you consistent answers. You see, I don't like this. This feels like a trap. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. It's a bear trap. Yeah, that's funny. All right. Sorry. So market makers first grab from their inventory to sell premium to buyers via distribution and absorption. Afterwards, the orders from the book then actually bring the price down. Also, what was the edgeful stat that you showed earlier? Oh, okay. Edgeful stat regarding reversals. I'll start there because that's the quicker, easier one. The initial balance range is and I use the 60-minute, so your 1 hour high and low is your initial balance range, and that's the industry standard. If you break the high or the low of your IBR after 1030, depending on the ticker, 75 to 85% of the time, you will not break the other side of the 60 minutes, right? So so the reason I was bringing that up is because people often make the mistake of thinking reversals are easier later in the day, continuations are easier earlier in the day. But that statistic actually shows you that in reality, it's the exact opposite, right? It's actually easier to catch reversals in the first 10, 15 minutes to a half hour, right? Because double breaks over the first half hour happen significantly more often, right? So if you're gonna catch a reversal, you actually do IB break for SPY and Q, I believe is there's a little variation. Q's is 85%, SPY is 75%. SPY will double break a little bit more often. The real statistical difference, which is I find really interesting, Sean, that I like a lot, is that the chance that they don't break, right? The chances that they don't break, like they create a 1 hour high and a 1 hour low, and they don't break, that stat, let me show you that stat. Watch this. You're gonna love this stat. This is a really valuable stat. Oh, you already hit the no break for me. No break. There it is. Posted as a picture actually by CEG. Thank you, bud, for the quick bit. Right. So look, 1.63% they don't break. Right. So like imagine if you have a 1 hour high, and it comes off the 1 hour high and it comes up and retests, but doesn't hit it, and then starts selling towards the low. How good is that position? Right? Because now that you're selling, you've already rejected the high, right? And now the chances of you not breaking the low, as long as we get, I mean, your probabilities for that directional move start screaming. So this is why if you're doing a reversal, ideally you want the top to happen before 1030. So if you're looking for a head and shoulders type pattern, you want the head of the head and shoulders to form prior to 1030, right? If you're looking for a double top, you want the highest peak of the double top to happen before 1030, right? That way it's an additional confirmation metric, because then if you retest, you struggle and you can't even break that new high, and that's really what it's about. You know, they push for it, they can't even pierce, right? They just fail. Right now they don't have enough buyers for that seller, so they're gonna run back to the buyer, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to play that fade from the aggressive seller back down to the buyer, right? And the statistical likelihood, you know, if you think about that, how that reverses, right? So if the closer you get to that low, you would imagine if it's only 1.26% you don't break, by the time you get to that low, if you're holding your ticker and you're just a little worried, man, am I going to break it? Am I not going to break it? Am I going to break it? You'll hold all day, because you have like a 98% chance it's going to break the IB high or the IB low, and you're sitting at the IB low after rejecting the IB high. You know what I mean? Diamond hands. You know what I mean? The stats will never be more on your side than in those moments. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible. I would look for ABCD. ABCD is more of a smaller time frame pattern, right? So like I like using ABCD in conjunction with, right? Like so like if I'm looking like a head and shoulders, the ABCD is what I'm going to use for the entry off the head and shoulder, right? That right shoulder is going to be a push down, a weak volume pullback, and then a push down. That's an inverted ABCD, right? Or is that a DCBA? So you know we want to do that. Right, and it works out really, really nice, right? So, but if you are going to use it, again, continuation patterns generically are gonna be preferred more towards later. Not that continuations don't happen earlier, but if you're looking for a reversal, you're gonna want to look earlier in the day for the reversal, not later in the day. Most tickers that break their IB high or their IB low will, like, well over 3/4 of the time, will close on that edge of the candle, right? Which means no reversal, just fades, right? They'll fall off and go back up, fall off, come back up, fall off, come back off. So if you don't get really good RVR, then it gets really hard to do it. You know, Holly, so far I don't have enough data to contradict it, but I could. You know, we can check it. Let's check it. That sounds fun. I can identify the time frame in which we sample. When did the bear market where did it start? What? Come on. I logged in. There we go. All right. So let's go stock, SPY, IB, date range. What date range? We want like 3 months? Wait, Feb 20? That's not a lot. Hold on, let me look at the daily chart. Hold on, QQQ. Let's go with, we hit our seller at 12/16, mid-December. So let's do December. I'll start it right when we hit the streaked out right. It's December 16th. That's ironic. Through, what is March 20 something today? $20th. Does that look right? 12, 16, 24, 3, 20, 25. Yeah? Okay, cool. There it is. It's a little different, but still about around 75%. Right, since then, still about 75%. Double break a little bigger, and no break a little bigger. Right, so you can see that there is a little difference. You know, maybe because of the wider ranges with the ATR, we've been able to stay inside the range a very, very small amount. But you can even see, like, it wouldn't be something to bet against, right? Yeah, no worries. Like, let's hit this with the Qs too. I'm short in Q right now, so I just looked over at my chart and I was like, ah. I mean, yeah, I'm in Q. 80%. So there is a little change, 85 to 80%, but you can still see, again, it's nothing, you know, that 1% isn't going to, it would still be 2 out of 64 days. You know what I mean? It's still almost the same. You know what I mean? So you can kind of, you know, it's pretty solid. You know what I mean? 3%, I can, you know, if it's 3% not going to happen, if I'm in that range, then you're talking like 97%. So that's like with this AMD one, right? Like, where is it? You know, this is actually a pretty good example, although I got to it faster. Let me see. I got to them pretty fast. But look at this. This one set its IB high and its IB low. It'll be interesting to see this one. I hit this target when we set our IB high. That's pretty interesting. Look at AMD, how tight that was. Whee! That's fun. See if this one's a statistic today. No, reversals are more likely than continuations before the 60-minute mark. Like, look at my trades today, right? Like, there's a reversal here, there's a reversal here, there's a reversal here, there's a reversal here, right? And then the Qs are probably the better example, right? We sold off very quickly and reversed here. The continuation play came at 10:30, right? If you would have bought high of day at 10:30 when it broke, you would have gotten a really nice move all the way up, right, to there. Then once we got a reversal, right? That happened off of that when the Q started selling. So I do love reversals, but for the most part, it is very unlikely that we will go down and break the low of day. We'll probably come back down to the open price or near VWAP, this value area, bounce and start chopping around up here somewhere. But hopefully we go further than that, because I'll tell you what, we're pretty close. So we'll see what happens. I'm trailing the 50 right now, so if it doesn't work, I'll just take that, because I've already had a couple winners today, and I don't plan on trading much longer today. But this was a really nice, Q's got up to R3, which today is a lower range, wider range. So R3 short is the play today. So I bought S3 here because the order book tiered in, and I figured we were going to go to R3. So instead of waiting for us to get to R3, I just went ahead and bought the ride, right? Hit a target to PDC. Also, another IB stat, by the way, that's very, very handy on QQQs. Gap fill stat. Well, when we open down. So what the gap is your distance from PDC. Right, so like if previous days closes here and you open down here, that is your gap that you have to fill. You know what I mean? So you can see here that the Qs fills its gap 71% of the time, right? So you can often get a really nice trade if you're paying attention. Obviously 30% of the time it doesn't work, but you can often get a really nice trade if you have an opening, if you're opening away from PDC and you have a quick opening sell. It's about an 70-80% chance that if you get into a buy somewhere down here and hang on to it, it's going to end up at least at PDC. Right? That's why I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy in here named Jared. He did name that level after a certain monarchical title, and I think it's well deserved. That's a yeah, it's right here. Can you see it wiggling in there? Sorry, it's being obfuscated by my stuff. It's right there. We started selling, we reoffered and came down. I went short and I threw my stop above this area, right? Well, I mean, it was an ATM strategy. All right, man, let's go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and modify this for the 20 because we seem to be trending it. So we're going to turn it off, and then I'm going to modify it, attach it, properties. We're going to switch it to, oh, that's supposed to be the 10. All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and trail this down the 10. So, and if it comes back up through, then I'll go ahead and get out of it and just take the profit. So I use ATM strategies. I'll show you one. I can't edit them while I'm in a trade. So if this squeezes up and takes me out in a minute, then I will. Yeah, there you can see my short a little bit better now that I moved my flag. See what I mean? It's sold, and then we squeezed up, and we started selling down under, and we were holding. So I went short here, and I put my stop. Well, my stop got put right up here, not quite over high of day, but like right in here. when I trade futures with my this is my Ninja account. When I trade futures using my Ninja account, I use trails, which I don't do on my DOS account, but because they're if I could trail a moving average and not do a tick trail on DOS, I would use them quite a bit. But since I can do that on Ninja, I use them. But either way, we're gonna make another another $400 today, so I'm pretty happy. Ended up being a really good day. What did I hit? 2 full targets and at least a half of a target. So that turned the end of this week into a it's 8R. It'll be it might be 12R if we hit this target. It'll be a 12R day, which is great since I haven't traded hardly at all this entire week. I really needed a good and really nice trading day. Always go for 4R. No exceptions. No, so especially except for the exceptions, like the trailing stop that I'm using right now. Just kidding. No, the thing that I aspired to with my risk management was to make it as simple as possible. I actually found, and this is, I like being very open with everybody because it's important to know which moderators to go to learn stuff. I'm very, very good at reading volume. I'm very, very good at reading like value and ranges and stuff like that. I'm very bad at reading momentum. Like I know when it's going to pop. I don't know how long it's going to pop for, right? Like I just know like it looks like, I just see absorption. So I know we're going to go up because, if you see a big green dot and it doesn't move the price up, we're going to go down immediately afterwards. But it might just be like 1 tick or 2 ticks. You know what I mean? But it is going to offer lower off the algorithm at first. But I don't know, come on. You can do it. Ah, so close. So close. I believe it would trade. I've been wanting to link up my BB. My gosh, man, I'm so scattered. I've been wanting to link up my IBKR account with Ninja and try and trade equities with it to see if the ATMs would work the same. That would be so much fun. I think that's my project for next month, actually. Once I get back from Vancouver. Oh, boom. Target, baby. Target, baby. No. All right. Sorry, too soon. What a good trading day. Dude, I am the king of targets today. I am the king of targets today. Look at that hit. Yeah. Look at it bounce off my order. Look at my AMD. Oh no. Look at my AMD today. Look at my AMD today. Wow! King of targets. Ninja target. Oh. That's funny. Target vanished quickly without trace. Man, that's fun. Okay, cool. I actually still think we'll probably go lower. I don't actually think it's going to bounce off of there and turn into a reversal, by the way. So, but it is cool just to see, so I actually use an automated trade management. So, but because I go for 4-to-1s, one of the reasons I went through all of my stats on my trading for 4 years, right? I had a friend of mine. We ported all of my trade logs into a server, and then we wrote a script that went through all of my trade logs. And basically what we did is we switched any trade that would have hit 4R and I did not get stopped out on into a 4R target. And any other trade whatsoever, I turned into a full R loser. And my profit ratio went from an average of like 15 to 20 R a month to an average of 70 to 80 R a month. And since I've made this switch, I've been averaging 50 to 80 R a month. It's been just a massive difference. But it was 4-to-1. I queried it through 5-to-1, 6-to-1, 7-to-1, 3-to-1, 2-to-1. It was 4-to-1 specifically for me. Maybe not everybody, right? It's the way I enter positions and the way I time entries and where I buy ranges. I hit when I went through scan of the ones that worked, I hit 4-to-1 if targeted, like 80 something percent of the time. Where I would actually hit, and I would hit 3-to-1 like 90% of the time, right? So all I gotta do is give off 10%, right? So I'm going from 90% of the time to 80% of the time when targeted, but I'm hitting 4R, not 3R, right? The 4R pays, right? The 4R pays more. So this allows me to actually have a lower hit rate and actually make a little bit extra money. So like on this week, actually, my hit rate this week, because I had a 1R loss last week. Yesterday I took a 1R loss. I took a long on Tesla, looked nice, came and stopped me out, and I went, man, for the first time yesterday, I think since I started trading, I did not feel like trading in the morning when I woke up. And I was just like, man, so I went and I tried the one trade, it didn't work. And I said, nope, it's not going to be that day. I already knew, like, I could feel it. I was like, I saw the green eyes coming. I could feel the Hulk bubbling. And I was like, I'm out. And I just locked screen and called it a day. I hung out with y'all a little bit, talked about my 1R loss, and I was just out. Well, yeah, not sleeping and a lot of personal pressure. So, I like I said, I'll hopefully update everyone at some point in time, just because I tend to be fairly open with everyone and hear about like stuff because it impacts trading, so it's important to know. But I'm not in a position where I can talk about what I'm going through right now, unfortunately, publicly. But I got a lot of personal stuff going on top of, and this isn't my daughter. This is on top of that. So like yesterday, I just showed up. I was like, man, I do not even like want to be a part of this like stuff right now. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. So anyway, my short is covered. I hit my target. Like I said, I still think it's going down. That's a cool chart. Thank you. So, yeah. Y'all know me who have been around. I'm literally like cloud 9, super bubbly like all day, every day. So you got to know if it's weighing on me. It's a big deal. Yeah, Harvey, believe it or not, before I came upstairs this morning, I threw my AirPods in, and I just blasted out from the musical The Greatest Showman. The show must go on. You know what I mean? I just blasted it and just came in full hyped. like, you know, I'm a performer, man. You know, and you know, and the performance must go on. I don't, you know, I got personal, but I don't got time for that. Like I've got a performance, and that performance starts every morning. You know what I mean? At 9:30. So, you know, that curtain's gonna call. You know, that curtain's gonna call, and it's gonna open, and it's gonna happen at 9:30, and I gotta be on stage, and I gotta be ready to give the performance of a lifetime every single day, no matter what, right? So, because if not, you know, what am I gonna do? So it's, you know, it's, I'm gonna fail is what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? And I'm not, that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna have that kind of stuff get in the way of my performance. So yeah, you know, and think, you know, that's something that can be really, I use music a lot in my life, because I'm, you know, I'm a musician. So I use music a lot, and especially, you know, for stuff like that. You know, if you feel like you're super hyped, calming music, good sounds, you know, tranquil stuff with lots of like vibration and, you know, and just like happiness and stuff like that, get yourself relaxed. But if you're, you know, but if you're coming in and stuff's going on, you can use it to refocus yourself. You only, you know, you only need to get refocused for like an hour or two, and, you know, and things will be good. But for sure. Man, I ran my butt off yesterday. I did one of the longest run. I did my longest run of the year so far. I just had to do. I just had so much energy and anxiety, and I just had to get out. I ran what, like a little over 10K. Um, and you know, like, and it only took me like an hour or so. But I was just like, I was getting my run forest run on. You know what I mean? I was just like, NVIDIA, let's check it out. Not bad. So there's a couple entry locations I really like for this one. So this is a lower wide range. So R3 to S3 certainly on the table today, right? The other thing I like is the if you look here, since it's been selling, the order book structure is clearly bearish right now, right? And our 30-minute CVD has been red, so we've certainly been selling. We also did a really good job of getting some really nice volume here. So this is what's going to really clue you in. Check this out. So when you're reading the volume profile here, right, notice that this candle here is on this much volume. This candle here, which is the same exact size as this one, is on that much volume. This candle here, which is only slightly bigger than that one, is on this much volume. Now, I know that these candles look very powerful. They are not, right? They would be powerful if this candle's volume was this small and this candle was that big. Like if that candle was that big, then these candles might look powerful, but they don't. They look like they're trapping, right? Because as they're pushing, the market maker is allowing the buyers to go to the book, but the market maker is also distributing at the same time. And you can tell that because if they weren't, the candles would be bigger, right? So as these candles are pushing up, we get an immense amount of volume, and then we hit them right there. Pow, pow, pow. Really big volume, really big sustained sell, right? And it sets ATR high near high of day. So for me, I would consider those together to be enough to likely have applied exhaustion, right? So we've likely exhausted our buyers. All of that buying volume, and the market maker only went that far. Now, what would actually exhaust the market or the buyers? Guess who exhausts the buyers? It's maybe someone different than you think. Who is it that actually exhausts the buyers? I'll give you a clue. It's the market maker. Yep, it's the market maker, right? The market maker is carrying inventory the whole trip, right? So once you get all these large buyers coming in, right, the reason why those candles aren't moving is because all the volume's coming in and the market maker is distributing or selling premium into those buyers that are buying premium, right? It's the market maker that's been carrying the inventory all the way up so that now when they want to buy, the market maker can sell them at a proper average, right? So the market maker is who actually chokes the price, right? So what happens, Harvey, is when the volume, when let's say a buy order comes in, right? When a buy order comes in, the algorithm has two decisions to make, right? Am I going to take my inventory off the shelf? Yep, 1 minute. Do I take inventory off? But all charts technically, Justin, but for entries, 1 minute. You know, do I take it and put it off the shelf on the shelf, or am I going to go buy it off the book? Right? So if you see a large green dot come through and the price doesn't go up, right? That means the market maker took that buy request and fulfilled it from their inventory. If the market maker is fulfilling from their inventory, the price is very unlikely to go up, right? Because what happens is the market maker is moving from buyer to seller and then selling premium to the buyers, right? So the market maker will stay up there until the buyers exhaust or the market maker runs out of inventory, right? And then the market maker will start moving back down and will start accumulating, right? Now, wait, what do you mean accumulating? Guess what red dots are? Red dots means if the red dots, that means the market maker is warehousing inventory, right? As the price goes down, the market maker uses the market sells to flush the price down the book. And while they're going down, they'll take 10% of them or 15% of them and tuck them onto the shelf, right? So as we're selling down through institutional bids, right, the market maker's just tucking away those cells, and then when we get to the institutional bid, the market maker can flood the institutional bid with a good average price of cells, right? But the market maker is now buying and buying and buying, but they're averaging in slowly by just warehousing a portion, and that's because we're moving. Now, if you have a large sell come through and it doesn't move the price at all, then that means the market maker elected not to go to the book at all, right? When the big volume came in, the market maker said, "Thank you." So, good example, Apple, I think it was 2 days ago, right? Big hammer right at the beginning, but if you look at it, it was a giant red dot, right? So that stayed in place, right, on the book. That's because someone with really smart came out and said, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and sell a bunch into the market." And the market maker just went, "Thank you. I needed that." And then rallied up to a seller all day, right? Because they got injected, like 3-point-something million shares got injected into their inventory. Now they don't even have to wait for us. They've got enough inventory. If they want to go get that order, they can. Now pay attention to that idea. If they want, they can, and they do, right? Have you ever seen the price going up on red dots? Have you ever seen the price going down on green dots? If the price is going up on red dots or going down on green dots, do not get in the price's way. That means the market maker is moving to wherever they want to move, with or without the market. Hear me? The market maker is making a movement because they have an order request they are going to fill no matter what anybody else does, right? Because no matter how much big volume comes in, the market maker just keeps absorbing it and moving down, absorbing it, moving down, absorbing it, moving down, right? The market maker doesn't care. They're gonna go down. They've already offloaded enough inventory up high. They know there are institutional sellers up high they can sell to later. So they're going to get down to this buyer and they're going to buy. They got inventory to replenish. You know what I mean? Green bubble and we go down, right? Yeah, is that what, NVIDIA, look, green bubble, absorbed, we move down, right? Red bubbles, we move down. Green bubble, we move down. We go down, right? If you're thinking about a reversal, not on that. Not on that. You know what I mean? If it comes in there, you know, you want to see red dots that absorb and green dots that pop the price, right? And if you're going to reverse, that's what you're looking for. Of course, right at this point, I wouldn't be looking to play a reversal, most likely, unless you know, something wildly changes. I hit it, Mark. Look. I got it. I hit it. I hit the long on Qs, and then I hit the short on yeah. Oh, so obvious. So obvious. Just like yesterday, actually. That opening test, you know, ISO pivot. Look at SPY. Dude, look how obvious SPY was yesterday. Like, I don't even feel like you need to understand this for that day. Look at this. S4, indecision, re-offered premium at the open, sold and broke low of day. Boom. Like, I don't know. I can complicate things. I wasn't in my right mind yesterday. I was mad yesterday because I went back through charts, and yesterday would have been, like, today was a really good day for me. Yesterday, you know, my days, they kind of come 2 or 3 days in a row, you know, when the market really lines up with my strategy. You know what I mean? And yesterday was a day of alignment. I would have definitely, from the way everything looked, I probably would have had a 20-hour day yesterday. Because there were a number of tickers that all hit, and they didn't all hit at the same time. So it would have actually, oh, pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Yep, it may. So remember, if you're looking for a revert, you know, hold on, let me look at NVIDIA. Remember, it's a consideration to have, right? You ideally don't want to short if it's broken IB high because of the lower probability, but you know that there is the 20% of the time it does work, right? So this is why I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about, you know, trading methodology. I call it TOAST, right, or the theory of all small things. One of the things that really hangs up a lot of traders is they want perfection. They want there to be 10 rules, and all 10 of those rules are all going to be in place all at the same time. And someone who can talk to you about perfection just came on right now, because he is perfection. His name is AI Man, and he's going to show you how it's done. So I hope you all have a great rest of your trading day, and I'll talk to you later. Off the cuff. So good.
Thank you, Thor. And hey, everyone. How are you doing, guys? It's Thursday. I hope some of you managed to catch Tesla today. It was amazing long. Nice run, good day. Hello, Sunny. Hello, Aaron.
All right, guys, I was away while Thor finished, but thank you so much, guys, on YouTube for joining us. Really appreciate you guys. Have a great trading day today, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. We'll get started. Take care, and have again an amazing trading day. We'll see you.